.604 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. Wilton producing, getting you ready to rock and roll. A Thursday show. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in the house in the 8 o'clock hour. Oh, we get a lot more before we get to that, but Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in the house in the 8 o'clock hour. If you know, you know. A lot to get to this morning. Yes, we are going to talk a little bit about leap scores with the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. We've got our Crime Stopper segment today. Phenomenal. In fact, you know what? I screwed up on the rundown because Crime Stoppers is actually going to run 2 segments. Haggai Davis is going to be in a little bit later on this hour for a cup of tech gumbo. We are rock and roll and ready to go. Let's start off with top stories and trending. Mayor President Sid Edwards ordered flags in city parish government facilities to fly at half staff on Friday. That's in honor of officers killed in a 2016 ambush. Corporal Montrell Jackson, Officer Matthew Gerald, Deputy Brad Garofalo were all killed in that ambush 10 years ago. Well, yeah, 10 years ago. It's 2016. Sergeant Nick Toulier was struck in the head by gunfire during that same ambush. He was able to hang on until 2022 before he finally passed. Cases of cyclosporiasis, a parasitic intestinal illness, are climbing, and doctors are now being asked to watch for patients showing certain symptoms. The main symptom to look out for is, of course, that long-lasting explosive diarrhea. However, there's other symptoms. Includes cramping, bloating, loss of appetite. Anyone experiencing those symptoms can call a doctor and ask to get tested specifically for this. One person was injured in a shooting off Florida Boulevard near the address of the Amigos One Stop. Officials received a call around 9:15 p.m. Wednesday. Police vehicles were seen at Shea Drive and wait for it, Mark Ann Avenue. Seagan Lane's about to get an upgrade. City of St. George announcing yesterday morning that they'll be getting $19.25 million in build grants to improve Seagan from I-10 to Airline. The money's going to be used for construction of landscape raised medians, as well as installation of upgraded traffic signals, enhanced pedestrian crossings and sidewalks, improved transit stops, and the addition of lighting and other street features to improve safety in the area. There will, however, be no dollars to make the drivers better. We might, and I emphasize might, have another storm on our hands as far as the hurricane season is concerned. It's sitting at a 10% chance right now, but it's on the map, so we tell you about it. There's a system that's moving off the Cabo Verde Islands. It has become slightly better organized from yesterday to today. Like I said, it's showing only a 10% chance of forming into a named storm over the next 7 days. It's going to continue to move west-northwest about 10 miles per hour. So slow moving, plenty of time on this one. Likelihood of it becoming a storm, we'll wait and see, but it has been a slow tropical season thus far. Want to give you the update when it's out there. By the way, if it does become a named storm, it will be Bertha. What you got, Will?
Well, Texas Hill Country continues to get pounded by rain. A team from Baton Rouge has actually already been sent out that way to assist in whatever way is needed.
Yeah, going for it's 3 Baton Rouge firemen and 3 West Feliciana firemen.
All right.
And we're good at this. Like Baton Rouge Fire is good at this. This is not an unusual thing for us to be called upon. So,
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche appeared for 5 hours of testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday, seeking confirmation to secure his role on a permanent basis.
Okay. All right. I'm not a big fan of having the rolls empty, and I'm also not a big fan of the grandstanding that goes on during this questioning, the Q&A periods and whatnot. It's more self-serving by the questioner than it is to find out any truth about the person being questioned.
We also have a shark alligator rule story. We're in full effect this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So a 71-year-old Florida man fishing in his own backyard was attacked by an alligator.
Yeah.
He was bitten and pulled into the water. He did escape by repeatedly jabbing the alligator in the eyes until it let him go.
So this was Friday night when it actually happened, as I understand it. 71-year-old North Fort Myers resident James Grayson McMicken went outside with his bulldog, made one cast into the canal behind his home, and boom, the attack started. Alligator in the canal by the home. He told a local TV station, quote, "I started reeling and it jumped out of the water and grabbed me. I just took the fishing pole and jabbed him in the I stuck my thumb in one eye, took the fishing pole and jabbed him in the other eye, kept jabbing him, then he turned me loose."
Fighting off an alligator at 71.
71 years old.
Whew.
Fighting off an alligator.
God bless him.
Yeah. That's what you call a codger. That man's like, he's good on him though, man. I don't know if I'm 71 and I get attacked by an alligator, I'm like, you know what? I'm just done.
He's gaining some new fans in Baton Rouge, though.
You win, Mr. Gator. What am I, Chubbs from Happy Gilmore? No, I'm not walking away from that one. We're coming up on, we're at 611 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Give me just a quick moment to remind you about the folks over at NeuroJust. NeuroJust specializes in TMS therapy. TMS therapy is good for anxiety and depression. Tell you about TMS therapy every single day. It's non-invasive. It's pain-free. I've actually sat through it before. It's about the simplest process that you can go through. But bigger than that, if you're battling anxiety, depression, bigger than the therapy itself is the team at NeuroJust. The team at NeuroJust has the level of professionalism and compassion that just combine together to put you on a path to help resolve any anxiety, to help get you out of the constant fight or flight that is anxiety and the exhaustion from it that leads to depression. Look, if you've been battling with the antidepressants, if you don't really have the results from the sit down, talk it out therapy, hit up neurojust.com, NEUROJUST, neurojust.com. Go ahead and hit that up and give them a look, give them a try, give them a call, and talk to the team over there. They are here for you. I mean, their level of care and compassion wants to get you across that finish line. So check them out online at neurojust.com. Uh-huh.
It's 3 firefighters and who else?
Do what?
It's 3 firefighters and who else?
3 Baton Rouge firefighters and 3 West Feliciana firefighters.
It'd be so awesome. I want to get hired by the fire department so bad. Just like they
Yeah.
Check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
I 12 from Dividends, flat in 11 minutes, westbound I-10, Prairieville to Highland Road, 5 minutes there, and the 12 ahead from Highland to the branch. No major accidents right now, at least for the moment. Seems to an out in the Baton Rouge area, as everything continues to move along very well for the Thursday morning drive.
This report comes to you from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center.
This is Adrian Haldane with Leaf Windows, your window and door headquarters at leafwindows.com.
Weather, traffic, and the stories shaping our parishes. Talk 1073.
.615 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We have a lot of ground to cover in our sports segment, so let's get right to it. We're going to start on the LSU front. LSU, well, a former LSU Tiger, let's say. Former LSU third baseman Tommy White is headed to the big leagues. The 2023 national champion has been called up by the A's. He's expected to make his MLB debut tomorrow. By the way, that according to ESPN, of course, all the local news outlets have it as well. But man, we remember, Tommy Tanks, 48 home runs in his 2 seasons here at LSU, and has himself a ring from that 2023 team. So good on him, man, getting the call up to the bigs. Let's hope he's making the most of it as his career continues to move forward, as we all knew it would, because he's just a monster. Keeping it LSU, moving over to football, former LSU quarterback Burt Jones is about to join Billy Cannon, Tommy Casanova, Jerry Stovall, and Charles Alexander. The Tigers are retiring his number. The All-American quarterback, the first actually All-American quarterback in LSU history, going to have his number 7 jersey retired in Death Valley. The jersey retirement ceremony is going to be November 14th during the Texas game. Yes, the list of LSU Tigers whose jerseys have been retired is incredibly short. And yes, it does need to include a whole lot more people. I mean, right off the top of my head, I can think of probably 5 more that just boom, boom, boom. Let's go. And that's just in very recent history. That's just in the last 30 years. But Billy Cannon, Tommy Casanova, Jerry Stovall, Charles Alexander, and now Burt Jones as well. Moving over to the NFL, Saints running back Alvin Kamara. He got himself a restructured deal. Go take a little pay cut, stay in New Orleans. The 30-year-old he'd been going back and forth with the front office regarding his future after the Saints had signed Travis Etienne. NOLA.com's Matt Paris, they actually spoke with our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network. He says an offseason where the Saints lost Taysom Hill and Demario Davis, it is good to see a veteran like Kamara staying home. Cut 11, please.
The Saints are in a little bit of a transition in terms of eras here, and to get Kamara to return back for a 10th season when he's meant so much to the franchise, I'm sure a lot of people are happy.
Yeah, because he's a Saint through and through. He's been a Saint since day one. He literally rides his bike to the Superdome. That's just he from the time he was drafted, he embedded himself in New Orleans, and is just a lifelong all-time favorite. Injuries and offensive struggles have limited Kamara in the recent years. Paris says he expects Etienne to step into more of a leading role in the backfield. Hopes that the offense finds ways to get Kamara to contribute.
Alvin Kamara, I think, can still be a threat in the passing game. The screen game was really ineffective for New Orleans last season. If they can get that to work and he can get out in space, I think you can still take advantage of that skill set.
The passing game's the obvious answer, right? But if you have a 1-2 punch in the backfield, you can keep Alvin Kamara loaded for bear when you don't want to tip your hand that if it's Etienne in the game, you're going to run. If it's Kamara in the game, you're going to pass. You don't want to tip your hand like that. So I think he will have a little bit of effectiveness in the run game as well. Got the Fox Business Report coming up in a quick second. Guarantee Health Solutions, guaranteehealth.com is the website, guaranteehealth.com. Anybody who owns or runs a medical office of any kind, whether you're talking about an urgent care, whether you're talking about a primary care, whether you're talking about a full-on hospital, is the front of your office and back of your office working in tandem to create not just the best patient experience around, but to grow that patient experience with other patients? If it's not firing on all cylinders, give guaranteehealth.com a look. Hit 620. Morning, Haggai.
Whenever I get in the car after, I just put it on my glasses.
JR did better than I thought yesterday.
Uber is adding a major European food delivery business. Uber Technologies is buying Germany-based delivery hero for $14.8 million. And Taiwan Semiconductor, a major producer of artificial intelligence chips, is pledging to invest an additional $100 billion in Arizona. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jim Lizzola.
Yeah.
You get that reference, you're old enough to I was in the same.
Yeah, I get the reference, but I couldn't tell you the name of the show. Lost in Space? Okay. I'm always touchy about stuff like that because if you're talking to, I mean, like, especially like in radio, I'll hear people make references to things that are 60 years old, 50, 60 years old. And it's like, you realize you're telling the younger half of your audience to piss off.
And that literally is a 60-year-old.
Uh-huh.
The show was on in the mid 60s.
Yeah.
For 1 season, 2 seasons.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm 50 and I only know that show from Nick at Night.
I was 4 or 5, maybe 6 when it was on.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I was alive, but I saw it in reruns
Yeah.
in the 70s. Like the original Star Trek. I only saw that TV show in reruns because I was
Yeah.
5 when it was on TV.
Wow. Interstates look good this morning. Do what? Yeah. Actually looking pretty good to start off your drive this morning. I'm not seeing any congestion on 12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. Now, I will say that once you get into town, as you get closer to the 10-12 merge, like from Essen to the merge, you are going to find a little bit of congestion, but it's not, I mean, it's barely moving from green to yellow at that point. And that's the only slowdowns on the interstate to start off the morning. Now, there was an accident earlier. Let me make sure I've got the right spot here. There was an accident earlier. I-110 southbound at Terrace, but that was from hours ago. It's just left up on the board, so it's not like it's showing or causing any delays or anything like that. Surface Streets, only thing going on is an accident that popped up 2 minutes ago on the board. It's up at Central, Wax at Sullivan. Other than that, we're about as smooth can be to start off your Thursday morning. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center. One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. 4008005 is the phone number. One Bath and Closets, what do they do for you? Well, it's right there in the name. They'll revamp your bathroom. They'll revamp your closet. They do a bang-up job with it. I could speak to this firsthand because I'm a customer of David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. And I can tell you firsthand the level of satisfaction that my wife and I have with our new revamped master bath is phenomenal. It's beyond compare. We live in a house that was built in the mid 60s. Last year, we're like, you know what? It's time for an upgrade. Always stepping on each other to try and get ready because we only had the one vanity. Had the old tub, with the old nasty shower curtain and whatnot. you stay in the same bathroom for 60 plus years, or you have a bathroom for 60 plus years, there's going to be little leaks in the wall. There's going to be little drips here and there. It time to tighten up the whole thing. It was time to revamp the whole thing. The lighting's improved. We're so happy with the floors. Moved out to 2 different vanities. We have a walk-in shower now. The whole experience has been phenomenal. And you know what? Looking at the calendar, it might not be the worst time of year to give David Duvall a call, because you look at it, we're like less than a month away from school getting back in. We're right at a month, maybe a little less than a month away from school getting back in. Get on his calendar now so that as school rolls back in and, you know, you're back into that routine and whatnot, you start off the school year by, you know, tightening up in the efficiency of your bathroom, as it were. But no, as you're, you know, as the calendar rolls on, your routine changes. When do you want to have somebody in the house? Now's as good of a time as any. And I can tell you on that front, smooth sailing there too. You think, oh, I'm going to have someone in my house working while I'm living in my house. It's like he's not even there. They get in there, they do their work, they get out. It's just an unbelievably smooth experience. And the same is true of the closets as well. If you're not maximizing your space in your closet, you're not running as efficiently as you could be. Hop on onebathandclosets.com, spell it out, O-N-E. Hop on onebathandclosets.com and do me this favor. Just explore. Just look at the pictures. Dream a little bit about what you could do in your own bathroom, what you could do in your own closets, and then give them a call at 400-8005 for One Bath and Closets. So, in yesterday's trending stories, Wilton brought to our attention the fact that 50 Cent's investment into Shreveport might be in doubt. Could it be? Well, our news partners over at Louisiana Radio Network talk with Shreveport's mayor. Backstory here is Curtis Jackson. He posted a cryptic message on Instagram saying, in his words, some people in Shreveport don't want things to get better, and he's going to have to pull back on the Red River, referring to the entertainment production district that he's seeking to create. Now, Shreveport's mayor, Tom Arsenault, says he's not concerned about 50 Cent's overall commitment to the city. Shreveport 1, please.
He's got $50 million from the state of Louisiana, and I think that he's going to move forward. It's just a question what he wants to do in the Red River District, because we have deals on everything else.
$50 million is a lot of money in state dollars. Now, bear in mind, if you're 50 Cent, 50 million, if you're 50 Cent, your investment into this is going to be long-term, a lot more than that. In fact, your return on investment, I should say, is going to be a lot more than that. Because the plan is to transform a number of dormant industrial spaces into state-of-the-art film and television production facilities and recording studios as well. Now, Mayor Arsenault notes that 50 Cent's efforts in Shreveport date back several years, so there's no way he's just going to pull out of the city completely.
He's invested a lot of money in the Dome, and he's poised to invest a lot of money in both Stageworks and Millennium. I think those two things will go forward.
I hope so. You hate to see projects like this run into snags like this. But also, how many times have we seen it? How many times have it's been all too spelled out for us where, you know, a local political official didn't get enough of his? So who's greasing whose wheels? And then personal greed steps in the way of overall progress. Not saying that's exactly the case here, but based off of Curtis Jackson's post, that makes it what it sounds. That is what it sounds like. Arsenault says the big question at this stage is whether Jackson will actually run the Red River District.
We have not had any significant discussions about him running the Red River District. I believe that there still should be positive and open negotiations on leasing a couple of spots.
Okay. But I mean, because if the more open there is to that, the more everyone's going to share in the prosperity. So we will, of course, keep an eye on it. We got news, traffic, weather coming up in just a little bit. Haggai's in for a cup of tech, Gumbo on the back end of that. Let's talk about shooting drones out the sky. No, we've got more than just that. Before we get you to break, though, tomorrow, Foodie Friday coming your way. Miss Stephanie from Zealand Street's coming by. Of course, that's presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com is the website. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com if you want to learn more about the protein, the iron, the 10 vitamins and nutrients that you get from beef every single time you're firing up the grill or firing up the stove or firing up, as I like to, the Blackstone. You learn more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. We got Zealand Street coming in tomorrow. I cannot wait. I don't even know what she's bringing. Don't even care what she's bringing, because every time it's a win with Miss Stephanie in Zealand Street. So looking forward to that. Right now, here's news.
Texas, it's water, way too much of it. Rain in parts of the Texas Hill Country being measured in feet over the past few days, setting off dangerous flooding. Iran has released an American woman held there since late 2020. As the U.S. military steps up, attacks on
Pulled a muscle in my back on Saturday.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I was at the gym doing deadlifts.
That'll-
It didn't do it. Then I did lat pulls. That didn't do it. Finished my entire workout. That didn't do it. I sat down in my car and coughed and threw my back out.
Oh,
Yeah.
first time I ever.
I'm on the mend now. Like I'm 1,000 times better. I'm almost 100% again.
First time I ever did something like that, I was weightlifting in high school, going for squats, doing a max in squats, and went
You throw your form off a little bit on a back squat or front squat?
back squats.
Back squats.
Hit the bench. Your butt had to hit the bench, and the bench was only 12 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
And I went too far over, and before they could catch it, the spotters.
Because you instinctively use your lower back to straighten out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, like front squats, like just they're so much better for you, but you can't lift anything with it. The weight drops off so much. Plus the form on a front squat, like I can't roll my wrists back far enough to do them effectively. I've got to do you put the weight on your chest and then you cross over like that to hold the bar.
Whether utility ratepayers will be stuck with the bill. Elena Delaria with the group Alliance for Affordable Energy says she doesn't exactly trust Meta and Entergy when they say they'll cover all the costs of the electricity needed to power the massive facility.
What we're seeing in states across the country, including in the South, in Georgia.
Oh yeah, by the way, you can throw out cuts 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're not using them there. CrimeStoppers is going to go 2 segments. That's this story, by the way. I wanted to play this just so I could come out of that soundbite and say, of course she has to say that, because if she doesn't drum up fear, she doesn't get paid. Because if her whole take is greed is the motivation, then I'm going to call on her greed.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
I-12 from Juban to the 10-12 split. That's 11 minutes. If you're traveling I-10, Prairieville to Highland, 5 minutes there, 12 minutes ahead from Highland on up to the bridge. At least for the moment, we're continuing to move along very well with no real problem spots on the board.
Juban to the 10-12 splits, 11 minutes? What are you, Burt Reynolds? See, that's a dated reference, too.
Oh yeah. And you're hauling ass.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably doing 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour.
Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Regular rejoin and then public tag Gumbo?
Traffic Center.
Yes.
I saw Michelle Sutton was packing something yesterday. Is she leaving? It was packing day. Was she packing to go somewhere?
She's moving, I think.
Oh, is that what?
I know she's been house shopping.
Okay.
I don't see her as much as Okay, it's 12 and a half miles from Juban to the split. So at 70 miles an hour, that's right. 60 miles an hour would be 1 mile a minute. So it should take you 12 and a half minutes to get from Juban to the split. Let's try this.
Yeah.
How?
That was on her page.
Hey.
We have offices
Well, Hawthorne
statewide.
Butler.
Visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution.
Yeah, I don't
lawyer.
know. I hadn't seen her all week.
Okay. Is it,
There was a work from home day on Tuesday, and my day is so compact on Wednesday, so I can get to Rotary on time. So I'm booking Thursday show and writing news all in the same window, and I had 2 meetings yesterday within that same window. They were both phone calls; they weren't real meetings; they're just appointment, whatever. So I haven't seen her this week. I will say I completely misread a text that she sent. Larry Selders' funeral was Tuesday, and so everybody was work from home, so they could use our parking lot because it was right here.
Mhm.
They used our parking lot and the parking lot across the street. So this is, and we'll let Facebook hear this too. This is how horribly I misread a text. Okay. Where's Michelle? Okay, nobody's to park on the back street tomorrow. This street behind me. No one's to park on the back street tomorrow. And for those who get here later in the day, you may have some difficulty parking. As Flynn told Pastor, brown folks attending the funeral may use our parking lot up front. No, that's not what it said. What it said was, as Flynn told Pastor Brown, folks.
Punctuation is important.
Let's
see grandma.
That's a thing. You're right. Did I hear Ray say in traffic 11 minutes from Jubin to the Split? Bro, you got to be hauling to do that, man. That's you if you do that in 11 minutes, you are exceeding the speed limit. I'm just letting you know right now. But man, I'll take it. Keep that morning rolling smoothly. Hey, got Cup of Tech Gumbo coming up in just a quick second. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's, as new deals dropped yesterday. 4-count muffin pack. I know. It's $2 off. You get a 4-count pack of Cafe Valley muffins, just $1.99. I love telling you about these deals because they stack up so quickly. It's $2 off for that. And then you get $1 off for Craven stuffed cookies. You get 50 cents off for Food Club refrigerated the biscuit dough. You're getting 50 cents off on syrup. It starts to stack up. It starts to add up, and you don't have to go about clipping coupons. They're all in the same place. They're all in the app. So if you have the app, you hit that little black button that says Clip Deal, and then when they scan your barcode at checkout, it does all the mathing for you. Plus, you're earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop. It's good at the downtown location. It's good at the Nicholson Drive location, the one that's right there on LSU's campus. And, of course, it's good on Highland, just west of Kenilworth. It's Mathern's. Time for a Cup of Tech Gumbo. Let's go.
It's time for a Cup of Tech Gumbo. That sounds good. I'll have that. Haggai Davis talks technology news using language even Brian can understand.
You just don't get it.
I don't have your head for science, so I'm not going to be able to help much. For a full serving, check out Tech Gumbo, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m.
We got 30 years worth of files right here in this computer that are going to bring you down.
A Cup of Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3. I'm sorry, wrong password.
Morning, Haggai.
Morning, Brian.
We got an interesting topic to start off with today.
Okay.
And I want to start with, we're talking drones.
Yes.
Amazon has, pun intended, launched the drone program here in Baton Rouge. 7.2 miles within the direct, as the drone flies, 7.2 miles within Amazon right there at Cortana. Yep. You can you can get packages under 5 pounds delivered to you via drone. Okay. Now, in order for them to get there efficiently, they're going to fly over homes.
Yes.
Can I own the airspace above my house?
No. You have so we had Franz as our guest on this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Franz Borgard, and we've had him on several times before, and you know Franz very well. like everyone who listens, when you
say his name one more time, he'll actually appear.
Absolutely, he might. But when you turn Franz on, it's boom,
Yep.
he goes, and you just get out of the way.
Right.
But he's got great information, great content, and we were talking about, he's talking about the space above your house. You have the right to that area all the way up to the heavens, but you really don't own it. I mean, if Delta Airlines is flying over your house at 10,000 feet or 30,000 feet, you can't control that kind of thing.
Right.
But if your neighbor has a drone and he's hovering over your backyard and you've got a swimming pool and your teenage daughters are out there swimming, you have some rights now.
Right.
And so the FAA does give you the right to fly over neighborhoods, but you can't sit there and hover over somebody's house, especially with the camera equipment that we have in drones nowadays.
Do the drones that deliver things have cameras to make sure they're not running into things?
Oh, absolutely.
Then what's the difference?
That's a great question. That's where the legal ambiguity gets in. It's all up to interpretation at that point.
Okay.
So if this drone is Amazon's drone is flying over and they're coming to my house and they've got to figure out, okay, do we go to the backyard? Do we go to the driveway? Do we go to the front yard? Okay, Haggai said he wants it on the driveway. Okay, well, it's got to map out because it's got to know there's some trees that it's got to maneuver around to get to the driveway. And
right.
And so my neighbor's got a bunch of trees in their backyard. So it's got to look at my neighbor's backyard. And okay, here's the spot. We're gonna drop the package there. And that's fine because Amazon's not trying to keep that data. They're not trying to peer into the backyard and see my neighbor's daughters. Okay, fine. But if, and we kind of even brought up, what if you go buy your own MK-30 drone and slap an Amazon sticker on the bottom of it? And I'm flying this drone that looks like an Amazon, but I'm hovering around the neighborhood and I'm doing creepy things.
Yeah.
Is all, well, it looks like an Amazon drone and they must just be scouting the neighborhood for deliveries, but I'm this creepy dude doing weird things.
Right.
It's until I actually do something, if I retain footage, if I peering into a bathroom window kind of thing, now I've broken some laws. But if I'm just hovering around casing the neighborhood, if you will, looking for things to go steal, if I don't actually steal anything, I haven't broken a law yet. But if I, oh, look, Haggai's got a brand new lawnmower and he leaves it in his backyard. Nice. If I go take the lawnmower, now I've committed, I use the drone in a part of breaking the law. So it's that until you actually do something illegal, flying the drone is not illegal.
Okay. Am I allowed to shoot it out the sky?
Not in the city limits.
Let me rephrase. Am I allowed to use a projectile to knock it out of the sky?
Well, that's the interpretation. If you go to
naturally, if I point a firearm at it and shoot, that's against the law.
Right.
That's against the law. But let's say I got one of those
air cannons that shoot the t-shirts at
I was going to go the giant ball, the whiskey ice.
Yes.
Yeah, if I were to put that in a slingshot and knock one down,
if you're hovering that drone 30 feet over my backyard, I'm gonna take it out.
Same.
But if you're at 200 feet, you still got really good cameras on those things, and you can use infrared and other types of cameras to see things.
Yeah.
It's an interpretation of the law as to when are you being harassed or imposed upon? When does it become an invasion of privacy, that real nuisance? You have to then make a strong case for why you took your actions to take that drone out.
So I'm gonna lose everybody with this next reference. Okay. The movie Ocean's 13.
Never saw that.
Okay. Well, the amazing Yen is checking into to Al Pacino's casino.
Okay.
And he's this high roller, and Matt Damon's kind of his handler. And he says he owns all the air south of Beijing. Trying to build something more than 3 stories in the Zhejiang province and see what you run into. why can't we own the air? I mean, we have rights to everything under the ground. You buy a property, you get what's in the ground. Why don't you get what's up too?
Well, you do. I mean, I can't go if I'm your next door neighbor. I can't build over the top of your house,
right?
But it's you're not allowed to control, and that's really more of a Franz question. But you have rights to. You don't own. The same way you have rights to the ground underneath you. You have mineral rights if you own the mineral rights, but you don't actually own it. You have the rights to it.
Okay, but I mean, as long as it's there, it's mine.
It's yours to, yes. Like the servitude, it goes through the back of your yard. You have rights to that servitude, but you don't own that property.
Okay. Interesting. We got a break here. Come back. We got a lot more to cover. Haggai Davis in for a cup of tech gumbo. Do need to remind you about Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. Been a community bank since 1897. Remain a community bank in 2026. Now, the number of communities they're in, it's grown. It's grown. They're in Zachary. They're in Denham. You'll find them on the west side over in Brewley. In fact, if you want a full list of locations to find out if you have a Landmark Bank in your community, visit landmarkbankla.com. Hit the little drop-down tab that says About Us. You'll find locations and hours right there. And from there, you'll want to proceed. Because when you have a community bank, you have a banker. You have someone who's there with you, in it with you, ready to help you into the next phase of life. Whether you're talking about investing, saving, looking forward to retirement, borrowing, whatever it is you need, they've got you covered. They've got the resources for you at Landmark Bank, landmarkbankla.com. Quick break. We'll continue next.
Don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of the timeshare. After 15 years, over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, great ambitions.
Have you been watching the World Cup? No. I've loved it.
Awesome.
I can't imagine myself ever watching an MLS, Kansas City versus Dallas.
Oh, but I might because someone's been added to a roster. Did you ever watch Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Denny Rojas actually plays.
Really?
Yes.
But watching these countries, I mean, watching the Spain and Portugal going at it, that was a lot of fun. Or Spain and France 2 days ago. That was
I thought it was AI at first.
Everybody came to see tonight at Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. The long anticipated.
I don't know if that's MLS or what, but
Football is life. On to replace Rabin. Everybody, of course, knows him for his acting role as Danny Rojas on Ted Lasso.
how cool is that?
That's great marketing. If nothing
I know.
else, you got butts and seats to come see the guy from Ted Lasso.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Good on him, man.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you would see in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not the level of Michael Jordan playing for Birmingham.
But It's that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you bring some celebrity in to come take a. He's pinch hitting for us. Brian Haldane's in the pitch hit for the Rougarou.
What? So I've thrown out a first pitch, but that's about it. Oh, did you come to Talk 107.3 night last summer?
No, I want to. When is it? Is it?
So I don't know if we're doing it this summer.
Oh, okay.
But last summer, Christy, I hope you're watching right now. Last summer, this influencer threw out the first pitch, okay? And she just walked into our tailgate. She walked into our party and started eating the Raisin Canes and drinking, like grabbing drinks and like she belonged there because she's an influencer. She gets whatever the shit she wants. Well, now she's doing the marketing for some truck show coming to Lamar Dixon. My buddy texted me. He's like, "You on this with this influencer?" I'm like, "Why does she look familiar?" And then I scrolled back through her Instagram. Sure enough, same bitch.
Well, she's an influencer, though.
She's an influencer. Like, who does she influence? But yeah, she's doing some truck show at Lamar Dixon that's supposed to be a big deal. And I'm like, why does she look familiar? Oh, yeah. That's the one that just walked up under our pop-up tent.
Nice.
Started eating the food that was meant for Talk 107.3 listeners. And not even eating it. Like, she'd pick up a chicken finger, take a bite, and, like, do a little, like, part of her video or whatever. Yeah. Because she had her tool of a boyfriend rolling with her. And then, like, throw away the chicken finger. And I'm like, and then she do it again.
God. That kind of thing drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But that's the grumpy old bastard in me. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Cup of Tech Gumbo rolling right along as well. A state senator who should probably remain nameless for this question asks, what about an air rifle? What about a pellet gun? Are pellet guns legal to shoot in?
Again, it's what you put up in the air has got to come back down at some point. And how much damage is it going to do when it comes down?
Right.
And you know, whose drone is it that you're shooting down? If you're shooting down a government-owned drone, if it's the police have a warrant to hover that drone over your property for surveillance.
Yeah.
You also have a right of privacy, though.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, and so that's that interpretation thing. And you have, you know, that you don't own the airspace above you, but you have a right of privacy of that airspace over you. And you know, then it gets into the whole FAA of, yes, you can fly your privately owned drones up to 400 feet and they have to be within sight of you, even though a lot of people will send them out much further away than what they can see the drone flying. Yeah. And it gets back to how much are you being harassed, or, you know, how much is that invasion of privacy happening to you? If that drone is 250 feet in the air and it's over your house, you can't really complain too much.
No. And also, as long as, I mean, if it's moving, nobody's saying anything. It's when it's hovering that's a problem.
But if it's just sitting there looking and you got kids in the pool in the backyard or whatever, it's just looking over neighborhoods, looking at what's in the back. That's when it becomes an issue. Yes.
Now, I mean, if I do shoot a drone out the sky, do I get to keep what it was delivering? I was just see principles. I mean, if I shoot a duck, I'm gonna eat the duck.
You know, it's you might get a phone call or two from Amazon. You know, you might be brought in to have a conversation with the legal authorities.
Watch the next crime wave. The next like easy crime wave is gonna be drone hunting.
You know, it's out there.
We're going drone hunting. You know, that's. I mean, the problem is like everything you would shoot down is less than 5 pounds. And the last thing you want to do is like shoot a gallon of milk, because then it's just going to spill all over you.
Again, at how high? If it's 200 feet in the air and you shoot out, you're not going to feel that gallon
probably
of milk.
Not. Yeah, you're
but
probably
if it's 10 feet over you, then you're going to get wet.
Drone hunting.
Drone
hunting. Watch for that to be the next trend. Oh my goodness. So y'all had Franz on this week for, Franz, by the way, for those that don't know who weren't listening at this exact same time yesterday, Franz is a criminal defense attorney. We call on him every week for Legally Served. Haggai had him in for a bunch of legal/tech questions where those Venn diagrams cross the streams, as it will.
Yes.
So AI hallucinations are causing headaches in Louisiana courtrooms. Tell me all about it.
So, and it's not just Louisiana. This was an article in the Advocate, but like 1,700 different cases around the world where lawyers have been using AI to file briefs and whatnot, and they're not checking their references that AI is generating. It's making up legal cases to defend what they're wanting to do. And so there was a couple of lawyers here in Louisiana that got fined by the courts. But as Franz pointed out, the judges use AI as well, and to do their research. And you have to, like all things, when you're using AI, you've got to check the references. You got to make sure it's accurate. Franz referenced that, and I keep waiting for him to show up because we've mentioned his name.
You wouldn't have mentioned his name more than the requisite number of times.
Beetlejuice.
Right.
Where's Franz?
Right.
So when you have these attorneys who are using different types of different LLMs, some are more accurate than others, some hallucinate more than others, and are you doing your diligence on the information that it's giving you? If you know these cases already and you're using them and it spits out some information, you okay, yeah, that's right. If it's not accurate, or if it gives you a case to reference and you don't go back and double check to make sure that actually did happen, you're going to get in trouble with,
Can I read you my favorite paragraph in the story?
Sure.
In May, a federal district judge in Alexandria sanctioned the personal injury attorney for using hallucinated quotes in a legal brief generated by the AI platform Claude. Court records from the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Louisiana show that a law clerk initially caught the faulty quote before the brief was filed and notified the attorney, who then entrusted Claude to fix it. Claude screwed it up. You sent it right back to Claude, and Claude, instead of fixing it, Claude actually made up more stuff.
Yep.
And Claude's a good one.
Claude's one of the best.
I mean, like ChatGPT, if you ask ChatGPT for a good restaurant in Baton Rouge, they're going to send you to like Applebee's. I don't trust ChatGPT any further than I can throw it.
I personally like Claude. I have a pro account with Claude. I use it every day. I use it a lot with trying to do the radio show, and coming up with information or summarizing the notes afterwards for a social media post. I love using, artificial intelligence like that.
Yeah.
I mean, to scheduling where AI generates daily quotes for me that I can go post on different social medias talking about, the podcast that's out. And so if you're using it that way, that's great.
Right.
If I'm posting things and Claude's giving me information, if I know, because I recorded the show, I know that's accurate. But if I'm just posting stuff and not paying attention to what it's spitting out, I'm like these attorneys.
I don't know if we have enough time to get into it right now because we only got a minute left. But where do the hallucinations come from?
It comes from the fact that artificial intelligence, these LLMs, are trying to give you information it thinks you want.
Okay.
And
this is where I say I want the truth, and you say you can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
No? Okay. But no, it feeds you. It's
giving you what you want.
Right.
And you want it to give you information saying, hey, this is exactly what I need. Great. I want more of that. Well, I
don't want confirmation bias. I want something that's accurate. And this is
that's where you get into the prompts and
right.
What are you asking it to give you? If you're not very, very specific in the questions and how you want it to answer, then it's just going to give you what it thinks is a good thing.
So basically, AI is the genie that you have to be careful with when you make 3 wishes.
100%.
Yeah, and you ask for $100 and you had a bunch of deer in your living room. We got to get out of here. Hour 2 is next, right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Appreciate you, Haggai.
You bet.
All right, thank you.
Kimberly Bryant doesn't like Franz.
I just called in and said a wheelbarrow fell off a truck on LA 110 by Governor's Mansion.
Okay. Okay, good tip.
It said it's in the center lane.
If Ray doesn't have that in traffic, then I'll update it on the way back in. Kimberly loves Franz. Yo.
Rain, tornado emergency in parts of the Texas Hill Country continues. Some areas could get 30 inches of rain, forecasters say. Kirk County. Overnight, heavy rain continued to push streams and rivers to near or above their overflow point. The Sabinal River in Uvalde County is normally about 18 inches deep. It's crested at over 19 feet. Tornado damaged homes and businesses in San Antonio Wednesday. This morning, tornado sirens were blaring again. ABC's Jim
Maybe she's talking about something else.
It's a numbers game. A day after acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's Senate confirmation hearing.
She felt entitled. Ooh, she's gross.
Reporter Alex Now.
They're going to have to replace Senator Graham and his seat on this because Todd Blanche cannot afford to lose a single GOP senator. And we heard two senators leading up to this hearing, Senator Tom Tillis and Senator John Cornyn, both who said they were undecided.
Iran has released an American woman held there since late 2024. U.S. military stepped up attacks on Iranian targets.
Oh, she's just messing around.
Okay. Somewhere back there, she felt entitled. Did we talk about somebody specific like that? She's mentioned, she felt entitled. Ooh, she's gross. I don't know. Did she double dip? Did I miss something?
There's probably a separate conversation going on that we don't even know about.
Maybe so. I don't know.
You never know with the glorified crew.
Did you get a new car?
I did.
Okay.
Almost got 3 full years out of the Mercedes, and if I was going to get anything for it on the trade-in, I needed to do that before it completely fell apart. The plan was to drive it till the wheels fell off, right? I'm sure I got damn close. So, but I mean, I paid cash for it, so the only thing I had to pay, like I never had a car note with it.
Right.
I had mechanics costs on a few things. Fuel pump completely rebuilt, AC completely rebuilt, but overall, sorry, we were supposed to be out right there. Overall, I consider it a win. That car that's in the, did you see where, and you know where my parking spot's at? That's gonna be Carrie's, so I'm gonna have her car starting probably midday tomorrow.
I kind of thought that's my.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 51,000 miles, so it's probably the last car we're gonna buy her before she's completely off the payroll.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Twice. So yeah, so we overbought, but it's for the right reason. Like long term, it's gonna be a better move. Oh crap! I wasn't listening. Did he talk about did he say the wheelbarrow? No. Okay. You too. I don't know. Normally, Ronnie's on the phone with me before the season starts to come on and promote. Their season's already 3 weeks in. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, if we do, I'll make sure you're in. They normally run all the way through July, like into a little bit of August.
I mean, it's the 16th of July.
I'm meteorologist Nathan Rogers with your storm station forecast, WBRZ Channel 2.
They're good lord, they've got a losing record right now. They're 15-18.
Wow.
Oh come on! I don't. Pop up. Be a Rougarou Insider. They will run. Are they done? They might have finished on July 15th. So maybe not. All right.
Later, Haggai.
7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Wilton producing, starting off your 7 o'clock hour at 76 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider. They are your IT partner. Hey, before we get rocking and rolling for this hour, and we're going to talk with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students in our next segment. Got CrimeStoppers later this hour as well. Before we get started, though, hey, Wilton, you had a listener called in, and I wasn't paying attention to traffic at the top of the hour, so I don't know if Ray had this or not, but caller called in with what information?
So you called in to let us know that there was a wheelbarrow must have fallen off a truck or something on LA 110 by the governor's mansion.
Okay, so governor's mansion curve right back
exactly
that way. I'm pointing like it matters because we're in a radio studio. But so what the I'm assuming 110 southbound. Assuming
center lane, I believe.
Well,
so
it's going to affect a lot more people if it's southbound than if it's northbound. So, see if we can't get some follow up on that. Let's. It should be on the big board by now. There it is. It's 110 northbound at Capitol Access Road. That's it says there's a blockage in the road. I-110 northbound at Capitol Access. Capitol Access and the governor's mansion, that's the same curve.
Cool.
It's right there. You got DOTD, you got the governor's mansion, and then the road that takes you up to the Capitol is Capitol Access Road. So be on the lookout for that if you're 110 northbound, to be sure. That's, want to avoid a wheelbarrow in the road. All right, busy hour this hour, so let's get after it. Top stories and trending. Let's go.
Presents top stories and trending. Something is going on here. Right now on Talk 107.3. Number 5.
Mayor President Sid Edwards has ordered flags at city parish government facilities to fly at half staff tomorrow. This is in honor of the officers who were killed in a 2016 ambush. So we are on the 10-year anniversary. Corporal Montrell Jackson, Officer Matthew Gerald, Deputy Brad Garofola, they were all killed in the ambush. Sergeant Nick Toulier was struck in the head in that by gunfire during that same incident. He was able to hang on until 2022 before he passed. Cases of cyclosporiasis, a parasitic intestinal illness, are climbing. We're now over 36 of them in the state of Louisiana. Doctors are now being asked to watch for patients showing certain symptoms. Now, the explosive diarrhea is the obvious of those symptoms, but there's also cramping, bloating, and loss of appetite. So if you're experiencing those symptoms, and as I understand it, the cramping is very acute. If you're experiencing those symptoms, feel free to ask your doctor to get a test because you can be tested for it. One person was injured in a shooting off Florida Boulevard by the Amigos One Stop. Now, officials received a call around 9:15 p.m. last night. Police vehicles were seen actually a block off of Florida, Shea Drive, at the intersection of Shea Drive and, wait for it, Mark Ann Avenue. Segan Lane's about to get an upgrade. The city of St. George announced yesterday morning they're getting $19.25 million in build grants to improve Segan from I-10 to Airline. The money will be used for the construction of landscape raised medians, as well as the installation of upgraded traffic signals, enhanced pedestrian crossings and sidewalks, improved transit stops, and the addition of lighting and other street features to improve safety in the area. Improving driver's ability is not included. Grabbing this one from our news partners at WBRZ, the Baton Rouge Police Department has arrested a man accused of a June shooting along Sybil Drive. According to an affidavit, during the early hours of June 20th, BRPD officers responded to reports of an overnight shooting along Sybil near Joyce. Several victims, none of whom sustained gunshot wounds, told police that just before the shooting, a car stopped down the street. The driver turned its lights off. A man, later identified as Taekwon Henderson, got out of the car. We're a month later, but police have arrested Henderson, booking him into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on attempted second-degree murder. battery of a dating partner, illegal use of weapons, and aggravated criminal damage to property. What you got, Wilton?
All right. Texas Hill Country continuing to get pounded by rain. They're experiencing a lot of flooding over there right now, and a team from Baton Rouge has already been sent that way to assist in whatever way is needed. That is 3 Baton Rouge Fire Department firefighters and 2 from...
Is it 2 or 3? I think
it was you saying, what, 2 from...
It's 3 from Baton Rouge, 3 from West Feliciana.
Okay, I thought you
6
said,
guys total.
Okay, 6
Yeah.
total. Yeah, 3 from Westfall and 3 from
Which is not
BRT as
unusual.
well.
We're good at this. We get called upon for this regularly. So that's it's sad that that it's needed, but Texas Hill Country, when it floods bad.
Might have to see if anybody from the Cajun Navy is available to go out there. Let's see. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche appeared for 5 hours yesterday for testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's seeking confirmation to secure his role on a permanent basis.
Yeah, it would be nice if those confirmation hearings were about the person being questioned and not about the grandstanding of those doing the questioning. It's like whatever party is in charge, whatever party's in office, the opposite party is going to stomp all over it. It just, I don't know. It's stuff like this that gets voters and the constituency. Everybody gets jaded because nobody's got questions. They've all got talking points.
We are, we are going strong on our shark alligator rule this morning. A 71-year-old Florida man fishing in his own backyard was attacked by an alligator. He was bitten, pulled into the water, and he only escaped by repeatedly jabbing the alligator in the eyes, both with his hands and with his fishing pole, until he was let go. He survived.
So yes, he did, and the bite marks on him are like incredible. To see some of the video of this, but yeah, guy's got a canal in his backyard, North Fort Myers, Florida. His name's James Grayson McMicken. He went outside just to let his dog out for a little while. Casts into the canal, and I mean, no sooner than he hits that reel, alligator hops out and snags him. But yeah, this old codger's got some fight in him, man. I mean, he had the wherewithal while being taken under by an alligator to start jabbing eyeballs out. So, I mean, he went full on Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. I got his eye.
Fighting off alligator at 71. Props to him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You said you saw video or pictures of the incident?
Yeah. There's news footage of the injuries.
Where is he? But like grab his arm, grab his leg,
grab his leg. Yeah, Yahoo News had it. It goes back to the local TV station, but Yahoo News had it. Just the local 10 News. They just picked up their footage. It's not super graphic because it's all from the hospital after the fact. This isn't play-by-play of the actual attack. We're at 713 to talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Top stories and trending always brought to you by the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is their website. FlyBTR.com. I love telling you every day about the direct flight to DC, but you already know about that because I tell you about it every day. I love to tell you every day it's not too soon to start your plans for traveling to LSU football games or bringing in friends from Clemson, Texas, or Alabama, as direct flights have been built out there as well. But one of the things that I probably should mention a lot more often is just the overall experience. If you're driving down to New Orleans to fly out of Armstrong, okay, great. You got an international airport right down the road, sure. But you're dealing with a massive humanity through TSA. You're dealing with exorbitant parking charges. And to me, the worst part is when you get home, you're not home. FlyBTR.com. There's no reason why when you come home from wherever you're traveling to, there's no reason for you to still have an hour tacked on to your trip. I mean, a lot better to have 15 minutes to get from the airport to your house, right? So next time you're making your travel plans, take all that into consideration and hit up flybtr.com. Please make sure that's Liz.
Hey, Liz, we are on a little break right now. We're pretty sure we'll be able to hear what we got going on here. And Brian will toss you some more going on right now.
Call 225-756-2644. Gulf Coast Office Products, your workplace efficiency lifeline.
Are you ready to help shape the future of education in Baton Rouge? Apply now for Changemakers, a no-cost 10-month leadership program for Baton Rouge
Damn.
students. Explore local schools, discussions, school tours, and even a visit to
Oh, nice. Their spot runs right before they come on. That's cool.
education strategies in action. Build your network and become a voice for excellence and accountability in our schools. Apply by July 31st at bronline.org. That's bronline.org.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Ooh.
We have had a handful of bumps and bruises this morning. Most of them, though, have been pretty minor. And we are looking at any major problem spot now. If you're traveling in on I-12, heavy backups, but not all that long with the start of the line about range time across the Indian River Bridge. And getting better past that. No big accidents right down on the I-10 side. If you're coming in from Ascension Parish, crossing Highland Essen and the 10-12 split. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with a free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free. So you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Tighten, lift, and glow with our advanced skin treatments at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Book now at myuniqueaesthetics.com.
Mm-hmm. 717 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Last week we learned about leap scores. Got to take a little bit of a dive into that with EBR's school superintendent Lamont Cole, but wanted to take a deeper dive in with the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. So we welcome Liz Smith to the show. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well. We got there's a couple things we want to get to. You just heard the spot if you're listening on air. If you're on Facebook Live, you didn't hear the spot, but on air, you just heard the spot about change makers. We'll get to that if we have time on the back end, but let's start off with the LEAP scores. What were some of your takeaways?
So I think it's important that we talk about why we do LEAP. What's the point of LEAP? I know you had the superintendent on. I know he was talking about some of the great progress that we've seen in EBR, but I want to stop and sort of flag this is the foundation of our state accountability system.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at A through F letter grades for schools and systems, that's all based on growth and accountability for proficiency on the LEAP exam.
Right.
And I think that the philosophical case for ever be understated, right? We don't know how kids are doing. We can't give them the help they need. If we don't know how teachers can improve, we can't target professional development. And so assessments like LEAP really let us know if education is working for students, families, taxpayers. I think that they're a key part of why Louisiana has been surging in national rankings. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're at the highest mastery rate in state history. It's the biggest statewide increase in high school civics, which I think is really great for a lot of your listeners who are paying attention to civics education.
Yeah.
75% of school systems in Louisiana have improved year over year. We've done some really great stuff at the statewide level. And I think that being able to account for that, if you're not measuring it, you're just going to miss it,
No, absolutely. And it really, it's reflective of what we're paying attention to overall. And just following Dr. Brumley over the last few years, when ELA was the top priority, we saw reading scores jump. Then numeracy or math became the top priority, and we saw numeracy scores jump. And then civics makes its way into the discussion, and those scores jump. Now, we'll see plateaus in the other one, but it really feels like whatever is top of mind is actually making its way from the top down.
You're absolutely right about that, and I think that brings to mind for me something around early childhood education.
Mm-hmm.
In Louisiana, we only just started measuring early childhood outcomes. That's kindergarten through third grade. We only started measuring that maybe 2-3 years ago. And we had teachers coming to the table in the legislature saying, please measure it. Please give us some accountability around early childhood education, because they know exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not focusing on it at a policy level, then it tends to fall behind when it comes to actual proficiency.
Right.
And I'm sure Superintendent Cole talked about how in early childhood education, the literacy rates have gone up 14% year over year. They are in the around 64, 65% of kids are on grade level, which is double what we're seeing in the later grades.
God, it's so sad.
I know.
No, it's great that it's improving, but like to think that 65% is double anything, it just.
I agree.
It's a testament to how much work has been done and how much still needs to be done. We're talking with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. So, I mean, we're walking down that path. Let's get into it a little bit deeper. EBR scores. There is a deeper dive to be taken. What stands out?
So I think, there's good and bad, right? As you say, the bad is that it's still only about 38% of kids who are on grade level. We've got a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to grow. But when we focus on growth, and I think that that's what you have to do when you're as far behind as we are, when you focus on growth, EBR is tracking right alongside the state. So as the state is in this southern surge that I'm sure everybody's hearing about, EBR is following along with that. And I would want to say, let me give some kudos to this school board. I've been doing this work for 15 years in Baton Rouge. And what I've seen with this school board and this superintendent is that they are more aware of and honest about data than any board I've worked with. And the school board in particular so strongly emphasizes it in the superintendent's accountability metrics around how they decide whether he's doing his job well. I've seen this translate into he and the board really squarely looking that data in the face in a way we've never seen before. They talk about it at school board meetings. They dive deeply into it and look at how different pockets of students are doing, whether that's special education students or whatever it happens to be. And they talk publicly about how they're going to tackle these problems.
Right.
I think that that's such a huge shift from what we've seen in the past that I couldn't just let it go. But in terms of the performance score, in 3 through 8, the overall performance in EBR is a little bit stronger than the state in terms of growth. In math in particular, though, you say we have this new focus in math, you're right, and EBR has made more progress than the state there. In Algebra 1 in particular, they went up 8 points, which has been a really notable improvement. And then another thing I would say is EBR showed some really good growth in middle schools. If you're paying attention to education, you've been hearing a lot about, we've got early literacy stuff, we've got early childhood education stuff, and then we've got all this dual enrollment and career and technical education for the high school kids. But nobody's really been talking about middle school. And so, kudos to EBR for making some really good progress with middle school students. I think that's great.
Well, but this is a natural progression as well, Liz. We're talking with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. This is a natural progression as well, because if you've got an emphasis on third grade reading levels 4 years ago, they're seventh graders now.
You are putting the dots together for me, Brian.
I mean, so math is going to catch up with middle school, in a year or two.
It is. It's really wonderful to see that the investment that's being made in the early grades is paying off as we get into middle school. And I'm hopeful and certain we will see that as we get into high school as well. EBR just continues on that upward trajectory. I hate having to talk about the pandemic all the time when it comes to education, but they are having the highest scores that they've had since the pandemic. So when you think about, it's been 5 years, almost 6, since the pandemic, they continue that upward trajectory. They've been compared against peer districts across the United States, and they are outpacing peer districts across the United States. They've really been focusing on this. They're doing some good stuff.
We got Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students on with us, talking a little bit about LEAP scores. Okay, so what do we do with it then? I mean, we're armed with all these numbers. We know what the numbers mean. We know what the numbers tell us. But let's start with a parental standpoint first. What do we do with this information?
I appreciate you bringing that up. So we've got 3 weeks until school starts. So now is, yeah, I know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's 3 weeks from today.
Gross.
And so we really have to be thinking about what are the decisions that we're going to make as parents for our kids. And so, we're going to be in the choice enrollment period come October. October is a crazy time. It's just when you've gotten your kids settled in school, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I have to think about magnet schools or charter schools or wherever I'm going to send my kids. And it's too much. So I recommend add it to your list now so you can slowly look at it later. We need to look at our LEAP results. You need to look at your LEAP results for your child. You need to know whether your child is on grade level or not on grade level. And you need to know that grades are different from state assessment. Grades often are something where you're comparing against the kids who are in the classroom, or where we see a lot of grade inflation, frankly. It's a huge thing nationally. And so pay attention to that LEAP assessment. It is the most objective. It's not perfect, but it is the most objective assessment of whether your kid is on grade level and is knowing the things they need to know to be successful as they go on to the next grade and the grade after that. So if you find that your child needs extra support, you know, the basic thing you need to do is call your teacher, call your school principal, and say, I looked at my child's LEAP report. It looks like they're struggling, whatever subject it is. What can we do together to make sure that they catch up and get back on grade level for next year? Your teachers and your school principal should have an answer for that. If they don't, then you should be looking at another school. But your teacher and your school principal should have an answer for that. And they should also be able to tell you not only what they're going to do, but what you can do to support your child outside of the classroom.
So that's what parents should be doing. But like you mentioned the work that the school board's been putting in thus far. What should the school board be doing with this information?
Well, so school boards are using this information. The school board is using where they need to put resources, right? So as they are doing budgeting work, as they're deciding where they're sending their resources, they are figuring out professional development for teachers. They are figuring out where their staffing is going to look like. And so they're going to be trying to fill gaps. And that's exactly what they should be doing. I think more interestingly, because, you know, we do some work around elections, we've got school board elections looming in the fall.
Yeah.
They are coming for Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge has all 9 seats on that school board that run again. And so I really encourage voters to consider where your candidates stand on accountability and testing. These are things you should be asking people who are wanting to represent you on the school board. What do you think about accountability? What do you think about testing? What do you think we should do with the LEAP results that we have had? Because that accountability framework, as I said, it gives us that most objective view of how students are doing. It gives us that most objective view of how we can support teachers better to be even stronger in their jobs. And so, you know, if you've got candidates who are maybe dismissive of accountability, then I think that's a red flag, and we need to pay attention to it so we can give our kids the things that they need most.
I mean, I don't know what kind of candidate would commit that level of political suicide.
You know, we've seen it now and again. There are a lot of folks.
No,
who are out there who,
you're right. You're right. It's just,
yeah.
But on its face, it's like, yeah, let's turn our backs to the measurables.
That's right. And that's one of the reasons I like to make sure that we start the conversation about LEAP in that foundation of it. You know, this is about raising a red flag and saying, hey, little Johnny over here in the corner is not reading on grade level, and someone has to do something about it before he turns 18 and graduates from high school.
Right.
It's really about raising the flag. It is not supposed to be a big consequence and harmful in any way. It is supposed to be something that just says, let's not let this kid get left behind. And so it's important that school board members see it that way too, and don't dismiss it as, you know, something that is either there's arguments about too much testing. I totally get that. There are arguments about, you know, if you have a school that's rated low, then that's a problem for motivation for the teachers. I think all of those have some validity, but the most important thing is how do we not let the kids fall behind?
Right.
And that outweighs everything, at least in my view.
So much more I want to get to, but we're just about out of time. Got less than 2 minutes to go. So back to school, like you said, back to school is less than a month away. What else is going on around this time with back to school?
So, like I said, you know, prepare for that choice enrollment period. It is coming in October. Start doing your homework now. That's when you can apply for magnet schools and charter schools. And so, you know, look for the school that's right for your kid if you feel like you haven't found it yet. That could be a variety of things, whether it's performance or a football program or a career focus, whatever. We recommend grabbing a copy of the Red Stick Schools Guide. You can go to redstickschools.org, and that'll have information about every school in EBR available to you. So you could start checking off the boxes of this is what I want and know what you want to apply for when you get to that choice enrollment period.
Can you give me in 30 seconds what Changemakers applications are open? The application period's open right now. What do folks need to know there?
They close on July 31st. It's free to participate. We are going to put you through an incredible program. You'll join an incredible network. And applications are at bralliance.org/changemakers.
She is Liz Smith with the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. Appreciate the breakdown. Appreciate a couple minutes.
Take care, Brian. Bye.
Bye. You do the same. Take care. We're at 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're due up to check news, traffic, weather. On the back end, we've got CrimeStoppers, and I'm just going to tee this up by saying this. It's going to be a very special CrimeStoppers. Got a bit of a different tack today. So stick around. That's coming up next on Talk 107.3. Oh.
Wildfires in Minnesota and Canada again leading to smoky, hazy conditions for millions of people from the Great Lakes to the Northeast. Air quality alerts issued for more than
I saw you do a weird look.
President Trump addresses.
What the hell was that voice? What was that voice? It sounded like the guy from Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Good morning.
What you say, sir?
Thank you.
Hello.
This is Miss Tawanda.
Wanda, how are you?
This is Brian.
Very nice to meet you. Are you in on this as well, or is it just me?
Well, that's up to whatever.
How about it's all three of us, so you could set the table and guide the conversation?
Without a doubt.
So.
You want her here?
Her there, you here, and then me over here.
Or else communities will pass ordinances banning data centers.
When that happens, these type things go to Canada, they go to Mexico.
I'm Jeff Palermo.
At Meta's expansion announcement, Governor Landry made it a point to say New Orleans isn't as important as it once was to Louisiana. Stephen Barnes, director of the Kaplan Blanco Public Policy Center at UL Lafayette, says.
Project is really valuable, but it's nothing like having a city like New Orleans year after year helping to support hundreds of thousands of jobs and contribute billions of dollars to the state economy.
A man and woman from Homa
You
have
want
been
your
arrested
chair?
on allegations of physically and sexually abusing
I'm
children.
so glad you answered
Investigators
when I
with the
called
Terrebonne
you.
Parish Sheriff's Office
I
say
always
that
answer when you
Jeffrey
call me.
Robinson III is the perpetrator and is facing a slew of charges.
Spell Tawana for me.
TAWANDA.
And your last name?
Weatherspoon.
Is finalizing a restructured deal to take a pay cut in order to stay in New Orleans. The 30-year-old has jaded back and forth with the front office regarding his future after the Saints signed free agent running back Travis Etienne. NOLA.com's Matt Paris says in an offseason where the Saints lost Taysom Hill and Mario Davis, it's good to see a veteran star return.
Also, anything there?
Bought a car.
Did you? Congrats.
Got rid of the Mercedes.
For you
I had a
or for your
20.
daughter?
It's for my daughter. So you know how it is when you're the dad. You have the shittiest car in the house always. So my car, I had a 2007 Mercedes. It's a 20-year-old car. I had bought it for cash. You know the dream scenario of the little old lady just drove to church and grocery store.
Yeah.
That I happened upon that. So I had the car for just shy of 3 years. Great to have no car note for 3 years. Awesome, right? Well, the plan was to drive until the wheels fall off, and then my daughter's car is getting up there. It's 2016, so it's 10 years old now. It's getting up there in miles a little bit.
You want her saved?
She's got to drive back and forth to Hattiesburg. So we decided, well, if we drive this one until the wheels fall off, we're not going to get any trade for it.
Yeah.
So trade it in, get her, when we kind of overbought a little bit, but got her a GMC Terrain.
Oh, that's
2021 GMC Terrain.
Those are good.
So hopefully this is the last car we have to buy her before she's off the payroll.
Yes.
And
How old is she?
She is going to be 19 in September. So, but going into her sophomore year at Southern Miss. So I think
She deserves it.
What is she studying?
Accounting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's a write-off.
It's not a write-off.
But accountants can work magic.
Well, she's only taken general courses so far, so
well,
she hasn't.
it's coming.
She's not
Got a
that
ways
advanced yet. So, which means I'm going to get her Pathfinder, which is still an upgrade from my 2007. And I love that car. I love that Mercedes, but like everything else. No, Vinny worked. So Vex European was one of the sponsors of the show. I would go there to get things fixed on it because you got a 20-year-old car, you got fuel injection problems, you got AC
And
problems.
it's a Mercedes.
Right. So Vex European specializes in European vehicles. So Vinny worked absolute magic. I mean, he was Dr. Frankenstein, brought my car back from the dead
That's
twice.
good.
So yeah.
Well, good. Good for her. Good for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're back in the car note game again.
That's all
right.
Yeah, I did it for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
No note. Then all of a sudden, saw a Jeep.
See?
It was like, ooh. It was such a good deal. It was a 19, and I bought it in January, but it was a 2018, and it only had 30,000 miles on it.
Oh,
so it's like,
oh yeah,
got
to
to.
get that.
Yeah.
It's like a must.
Yeah. Well, my main concern right now is that I have a 14-year-old as well, and my wife's car is going to be due to trade in at about the same time that she's going to get her that the 14-year-old is going to get her driver's license. What's meant to be?
Give her the Pathfinder.
What? So
You're gonna still be in the car.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. What do you mean it's meant to be?
It's meant to be.
We're going to add a fourth car,
That's
fourth
okay.
insurance.
That's all right. I'm here for
Finding new ways to break my back, Don. 737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Of course, we're broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider. They are your IT partner. You can learn more about them by visiting 180pros.com or give them a call. 330-2200. 330-2200. The area code, get this, 225. They're right here in our own backyard. Offices off of Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Look, when you have a partner in the IT world, that means when if your network goes down, you're getting same-day response time. If your network goes completely down, they can get to you physically. Something where they can't dial in, they're here in town to be able to get to you physically. Can you imagine a scenario where your network goes down and your IT provider is out of New Orleans? Now your livelihood is based off of whether or not the traffic on I-10? No, forget that. Call them 225-330-2200 or visit 180pros.com. Time for Crime Stoppers. Let's go.
This is Crime Stoppers on Talk 107.3 FM. I think I'll go catch it at that. A weekly look at fighting crime, stopping crime, and crime prevention. As always, if you have information you think can help solve a crime, call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP.
All it takes is a phone and an open mind. No one will know.
My eyes on the pound. Crime Stoppers on Talk 107.3 FM.
And it is time for Crime Stoppers. We welcome in, as we do every week, Don Capola. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing very well on this end. You doing good?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I couldn't be better. I'm glad to be here. Glad it's Thursday.
Yeah, you brought a guest with you.
I brought a guest, and
all right,
she is. I just met her for the first time today. We spoke for the first time this week,
Mhm.
but she is Tawanda Weatherspoon, and you meet her and you feel like you've known her forever.
Okay. Tawanda Weatherspoon, welcome to Talk 107.3. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. No, glad to have you in here. So Don called me a couple days ago. I guess it was right after he got off the phone with you.
Mm-hmm.
And asked, he said, can I bring a guest along this week? And I said, absolutely. And then he asked me some other things, but sometimes I just tune him out.
There you go.
So
everybody heard that.
No, if Don says this is going to be a good segment, I'm already on board. I don't need to hear the rest.
Great segment.
Because I know that if he's bringing someone along, we're going to have a story to tell and some information to provide. So I'm just going to let Don take it away.
So, and Brian, every week, 95% of the time, our fugitives or
domestic violence,
Mhm.
domestic violence strangulation, domestic violence child endangerment. Well, Tawanda is here to briefly tell her story. She has an event coming up next Tuesday we want everyone to be aware of.
Okay.
And she has lived it. She is not just making this up. She actually lived this, and I want her to tell her story for the listeners and invite everyone to come out next Tuesday. And Tawanda.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name's Wanda Weatherspoon, and as Don said, yes, I am a domestic violence survivor. Unfortunately, many years ago, I lost a son due to domestic violence. 36 years ago, he was 3 years old. But the reason for this event is to bring awareness to domestic violence and to help people know that there are resources in our community to help them and that they don't have to suffer in silence, that there's a voice out here to help speak for them.
All right, we're going to have to get a little emotional and get a little dirty here. I need to know the story. I know it's going to be painful, but I need to know the story.
Okay, so I was involved in a relationship. It was actually here in Baton Rouge, and like so many stories, I actually got away. I left and moved to Georgia.
Okay.
And again, like so many stories, I allowed him to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at home, and I gotten up one Saturday morning to go to the bank. And while at the bank, I just started having this real eerie feeling. And I was asking the teller to please hurry. I got to get home. And when I got home, my son was laid across the bed and wasn't moving. And got him to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, 2 days later, he passed. Mm-hmm. And when the coroner revealed to me what exactly had happened, I was told he fell and hit the back of his head.
Okay.
The coroner revealed it was a blow to the front that caused the fall, and he fell and hit the back of his head. And between those two,
so he didn't just fall; he was knocked down.
He was hit pretty hard.
So the person that did this, was this the father of the child?
No, it was not.
Okay.
It was. Not.
All right. So he followed you from Baton Rouge to Georgia.
I actually allowed him to come.
Yeah.
I wasn't like running for my life or anything. Well, I was, but I actually allowed him to come back.
Please take this question in the spirit that it's given. I'm not victim blaming.
Yeah.
Why did you allow him to come back?
Because to me, abuse was normal. It was a way I grew up.
Was that okay? That was something that was built in generationally. That was something you saw with your parents?
Yes. My mom and stepfather.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're talking with Tawanda Weatherspoon. We're talking about domestic violence and how this can turn over, like literally from one generation to the next, just that easily. I'm sorry to kind of do the math in my head right now, but your son was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. This happened 36 years ago. Mm-hmm. Event's coming up Tuesday. I'm guessing that's his 40th birthday.
Yes, it is. And that's so I've been doing this walk 35 years. It started with, of course, just me. Mm-hmm. And I always do it on his birthday, which is July 21st, mm-hmm. Which is why this walk always takes place on July 21st, no matter what day of the week it is. And it has grown. Friends, family started joining in, and now there will be people walking across 10 states here and 7 countries.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah.
Actually, that's very amazing. I'll tell you what, let's step away from the individual story real quick to get to the details of the walk, because we want our listeners to know where they can participate and what they can expect when they get there. So coming up on July 21st, there is a walk. Where is it being held? Where does it start? Where does it end? How do people play along?
Okay. So the walk is Tuesday, July 21st. It'll be held at Haldane Road, Breck Park.
Okay.
Because it's a Tuesday, we're doing the walk in the evening. It starts at 5:30. Everyone can start arriving, and it ends at 8. There will be several resource tents out there. We'll have the YWCA out there, IRIS, Capital Area, Human Services, several different agencies around the city to be there as resources for those who may have questions.
Breck's Highland Road Park, pretty big park. I'm assuming this walk is on the cement sidewalk that has the big loop.
Yes.
So that's right at the top, right
Up
off
the
of
hill.
Highland Road. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes.
We know exactly
Plenty
where
of
that's at.
parking.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of parking up that way. And that's a whole lot of walking. I believe it's 3 laps around that track is a mile. No, 2 laps. Wait.
One in like a
Yes, a lap and a third is a mile.
Is a
Sorry.
mile. Mm-hmm.
It's been a little while since cross country season, so I'm out of practice.
Been there many days for that.
Yes, a ton. Okay, so 5:30 to 8. That's a long time to walk, but it's also a lot of time to peruse and talk to people who are resources. 100%. Now, here's where I want to start to get the hammer home, so that your story isn't replicated. God willing, your story is not replicated. You said it yourself. Abuse can feel like that's just the normal path of a relationship, but it's not.
It's not.
No matter how much someone can tell themselves consciously that it's normal, subconsciously, something feels wrong right there.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to get someone to bring that subconscious up to the conscious level, and stick with it?
Well, you have to be willing to walk with a person, and you can't judge. You just have to walk with them and love them through this and encourage them, share your story, and be a hope and a light for them. To know that you can do this, because a lot of people do just feel hopeless, and also feel like I can't do it on my own from a financial aspect.
Right.
And it's like, well, we'll just have to find resources for that.
And we're gonna dive into some of those resources. I'm gonna get you to stick around for an extra segment. We got 3 minutes to go in this segment, but I'm gonna get you to stick around for an extra segment. We'll talk about some of those resources then. But I want to keep on your story for a minute. And I apologize. We're gonna go back to the hard part to talk about. Rewind the clock. When you left Baton Rouge for Georgia, can you give an estimate of how many instances that the domestic abuse had happened? Like, how many times did your significant other just go off and it resulted in violence?
I really can't, to be honest. It was just the norm. We had good days, and when the days were bad, they were bad, and it was never visible.
Really,
it was never visible bruising. It was never,
In hindsight, did that feel intentional? I know it's hard to look back 36 years, later, but but because if it were intentional, it's so much more dubious.
Yeah,
it's so much more evil, really. I apologize. I probably should have asked this right from jump. What's your son's name?
Travis Anthony Weatherspoon. Which is, this walk is the National TAW Day. Take a walk. But
take a walk. Travis Anthony Weatherspoon.
It's also his initials.
Okay, the acronym works out very, very well.
It did.
So National Take a Walk coming up on July 21st. That's Tuesday evening out at Highland Road Park.
Yes.
In your time since then, this is obviously not your first walk. This is something that you've committed a lot of your time and effort and emotion into. Can you give me a quick minute and a half story of someone you've encountered that you've been able to get away from a situation that you saw just paralleled your own?
I know of several.
Not asking for names, obviously.
Right. Protect the innocent.
Yes.
I know of several, and I can't necessarily say I helped them walk away, but in sharing my story, my hope was that it impacted them in some sort of way, in knowing that you don't have to stay in this. A lot of times we equate abuse to just the physical aspect, but abuse comes in various forms. You have the mental aspect, you have the, emotional, the verbal, of course, the sexual abuse and all of these things. But, to let someone know you don't have to tolerate that in any capacity.
Right. This is our Crime Stopper segment. We got Don Capola in right now. He didn't really matter because we got Tawanda Weatherspoon in with us this morning telling her story. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I know you are.
We got to check your money now. We got to check traffic. Coming up on the back end, We're going to dive into some of the resources that are available, what they actually offer, and what they can actually offer on site. But I also want to talk about some of the harder parts of getting over that hump to get away. That's coming up next right here on Talk 107.3 at 7:50. I mean, it's like you have an eye on the clock. That was unbelievably well timed.
Oh.
That's from a radio perspective. Thank you, by the way, for digging deep. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
So.
And with her story, you know, we talk every week on, hey, if there's someone you see, if there's some change in behavior.
That's what we're gonna hit on the back end.
But with Tawanda, it's there is an out, and they are resources, and we can hit the CrimeStoppers as far as the anonymity aspect of this.
Oh.
I just couldn't imagine.
A month ago, the government imposed a blanket ban on social media for users under the age of 16. Futures are still mixed.
Someone is asking in the comments, do you know where I can donate clothing for women?
Does Iris do that?
I think Iris.
Related with,
Iris House does. The Iris and Battered Women's Shelter.
Are those both?
I don't think they call it that anymore. What is it? The name of the?
They keep changing it.
I know.
Like they change
Do you know
locations.
where a domestic violence for women's facility is to donate things? She says she has several totes of clothes that she'd like to make available.
I believe Iris. I don't have their number.
And they may keep it anonymous.
Yeah,
for their
Battered Women is
protection,
anonymous for that reason.
But I'm sure Iris knows.
Mhm. Michelle White is her name.
So Iris is the Battered Women's Shelter. It's the Iris Domestic Violence Center.
Okay. In Baton Rouge?
Yep.
Moon Griffon. What you wish you could do is everybody thinks socialism is a good thing. Let's ship them to Cuba. Well, yes, they claim it. Send them to Venezuela. Send them over there. Let them see it. Great healthcare.
So before I worked in radio, I worked in hotels. I was a sales manager for a hotel that's gone, long since gone now, but it was the Comfort Inn on Acadian Thruway.
I remember that.
Do what?
You had to go bell haggle?
I wasn't a bellhop. My word. So
I can see it.
We had a deal with the Battered Women's Shelter, complete anonymity. They would call us ahead of time, say woman's going to come in with a card. Ask, we didn't ask questions. We put them up. They had, get them, and it was a 3-night stay, no matter what. If they needed it, they needed it. If they didn't, we didn't know where they checked out because we had a comp room, whatever. So that was something that I took very seriously at the time. It's like in the immediate need to get away is like, do they physically have a place to go?
Yeah.
And that was something that we took, the hotel took very seriously to make sure that we were a resource.
Yeah.
And I will never forget one night, front desk clerk called in sick. So instead of working sales, I was working front desk that night. And the boyfriend came by. And like I called the cops before he was through the front door. Like after checking the woman in, when the guy pulled in, I'm like, this is going to go sideways very, very fast. And he started at an 11 and just exploded from there.
Yeah.
Where is she? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're not getting that information out of me, pal.
Yeah.
And the cop showed up like maybe 3 minutes later. Felt like an eternity, but it was super duper quick. But I,
well, the sad part is we are,
rage.
and again, I did it. A lot of them go back.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's why it's hard.
Right.
And that's one of the most dangerous calls for law enforcement to respond to is a domestic.
When you see that rage up close, anything can go wrong. Anything can nothing is logical at that point.
And you're there helping the victim.
And sometimes the victim turn on you.
They turn on you.
Right.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, because they don't want you to take him. They just want you to get him to stop.
Right.
But don't take him.
Oh no, there's so many different variables in the equation, from the financial to the emotional to the when you start off from a point of accepting that as the norm, then when police get there, they're punishing someone who's doing something normal in the victim's mind.
In the victim's mind, yes.
Right.
Thank you.
755 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We've got Tawanda Weatherspoon in with us. This is coming up this Tuesday, July 21st, out at the Highland Road Park, 5:30 to 8 will be the National TAW Day. The walk is going to be going on out there. There will be all kinds of resources out there. IRIS will be out there. YWCA will be out there. But before we get to the individuals that are going to be there, though, I want to start with just the listeners right now who may or may not know if something is going on in the lives of someone around them. You had mentioned, Tawanda, that when you were a victim of the violence, it wasn't visible. If it's not physically visible, what should people be looking for?
You have to look for like changes in their behavior. Someone that was once, full of life and laughter, and all of a sudden they're just real, detached from, and you can even look at their children,
right?
If they have children, and there are always telltale signs that something is going on.
And look, that something might not be domestic violence. It might be interpersonal. It might be some level of depression. Either way, caring about someone is not going to result in a negative. It's just reaching out to find out is not going to result in a negative. Just if you are uncomfortable broaching the subject, get over it.
Yes.
So
you have to be willing to speak up. You have to be willing to get involved.
Yeah.
From
there, what's the first step? Right. For the victim. What's the I would imagine the first step to step away is probably the hardest. So what is that first step?
It's realizing that you have to do this. You cannot, there is no preparing. There's no, let me get this in order and that in order. For some, it's that moment. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And you don't look back.
And
you
then,
cannot afford to look back.
And from there, you get into, not to bring up like Maslow's hierarchy of need, but you start really triaging. I need shelter. I need resources. I need food. I need diapers for my baby.
Yes.
Like you start really running down the list of what you actually need to step away. So that brings us around to some of the resources that are going to be at the walk on Tuesday night. What do they have to offer, or what will they have to offer on Tuesday night as far as like just, and I know this could be explanations and whatnot, but go ahead.
So, we'll have organizations that can help provide some of those needs we're mentioning. The shelter, just different avenues for you to be able to take to get out and stay out.
Right.
And people that are there for you to help walk with you, so that you don't have to return, and to know you have a place to go. You have, of course, like I said, you have the YWCA that helps with domestic violence victims. And you have the IRIS who will also, which is a big part. And if all else fails, you have 911.
Right.
Like, do what you have to do to get out.
Go ahead.
I also CrimeStoppers will be there, and that is another resource for you to make that call to remain anonymous. If you are a victim, if you are suspect a coworker, a family member, a friend, somebody may be in that situation. Don't assume, don't wait, don't think somebody else is going to call. Like you said, you have to be the one to make that first step, take that first step, make that call. 344-7867 or the P3 Tips app we talk about every week.
Oh, yeah.
So remember, that's another resource. We are looking forward to being there on Tuesday as well to pass out some information and answer any questions anyone may have.
Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Highland Road, Breck's Highland Road Park. You're going to be right there at the top of the hill around the track. It's called Take a Walk. And we're talking about hopefully eliminating in
Yes.
some form or fashion domestic violence. Tawana, thank you so much for sharing this
you.
morning. I know that
Thank
wasn't the
you.
easiest thing to do, but appreciate it.
Thank you. I can breathe now.
Yes. No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hands are shaking.
Pulled a muscle in my back last Saturday. I'm not over it yet.
At the gym?
Yes, at the gym.
I know you work out.
Went through my whole workout without a problem. When I sat down in my car, as I was sitting down, I coughed wrong and threw my back out. I did deadlifts on Saturday without a problem.
Look, a cough, a simple
Yeah.
sneeze,
Yeah.
and you're like, ah.
Deadlift, it was overhead press, deadlift, lat pulls. Those were the only three that really pushed my back.
Yeah.
And then, of course, crunches. Those are the only three that really pushed my back. Everything else was like dumbbell work.
And a cough got you.
And a cough got me.
I know one of the producers at work, he went to lift his boat, whatever,
The hitch?
Yeah.
and blew his eye out.
What?
Literally.
Didn't see that coming. No
And
pun
it-
intended. Didn't see
no,
that coming.
Didn't see it coming.
Oh
And
my
he had to
God.
have major surgery.
Oh,
wow.
That's terrible.
You need something.
Well, I hope you
Always. Thank
be
you.
okay.
Right?
Thank you again.
No.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
There are a few birthdays on this day in history that I'm finding relevant.
Yeah. So the guest that comes in at 8:15, he's here through the entire rest of the show. It's a little bit harder to post and whatnot because it's start and stop, but you're going to combine all three segments into one.
Yeah, okay, that's what I do for like what's the Franz and stuff.
Yeah, same thing.
I mean, that's what I do for CrimeStoppers right here. They don't just do.
Well, yes, okay, yeah. So yeah, exact same principle. I just. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Wilton producing. We've ticked up to 79 degrees on our way to a hot Thursday as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio. 180 Pros. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. We're going to get to this day in history in a little bit. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's coming by after that. Before we get you to this day in history, let me remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Industry Makes putting together a concerted effort to make sure messaging is accurate when it comes to the industries that are up and down the river in Louisiana. I mean, the industries that provide the products that keep the world running. The industries that provide the jobs that keep our neighbors' house from being foreclosed on. The industries up and down the river that have been the backbone of Louisiana's economy, whether you're talking about the industry itself or all the small business that services that industry. It's all one ecosystem, and they need the right messaging to make sure that when you see protests pop up, when you see naysayers come around, who's speaking up for that business, well, that's where industrymakes.org comes into play. You can learn more at industrymakes.org. All right, Wilton, this day in history, let's hit it. How are you, sir?
Hey, brother. How are you? Good morning.
Wilton, you know you're not ready, right? You know you're not ready. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in the house. So you go ahead and put his microphone on. Right. But Ag Commissioner Dr. Strain's, you have not experienced this yet. So
you mean he's a newbie?
He's Breland's on vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah, Breland's on vacation.
You let her go on vacation?
We sure did. We sure did.
It's easy when you got me in here.
Yeah, no, it's been smooth sailing thus far.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I don't know if he knows what's coming for the rest of this hour.
No, he probably doesn't, right?
No, that's
okay. Yeah, his hair hadn't turned gray yet.
No.
I've been learning all week, so let's go for it.
This is not like that.
Oh, yeah?
Get ready. No, we're going to have some fun. All right, this day in history, what happened?
All right. I got some kind of obscure things to start off with.
Okay.
Going all the way back to the year 1054 on this day in history.
Yep.
The Great Schism between the Eastern and Western churches actually began. The Roman Cardinal, Cardinal Humbert issues a bill of excommunication against, I'm going to mess up the name, but Cerularius, Patriarch of Constantinople, and then that kind of began the process of the schism. 1439, you're not going to guess this one, but kissing was actually banned in England to stop the spread of the Black Death in 1439.
Good for them.
On this day in history.
Would have been more effective with tuberculosis.
Right.
But, yeah.
I mean,
but not the
considering
plague.
What were they kissing?
We're going.
Just let that sit there.
Words cannot. Words cannot. How you say?
There's no follow up.
Yeah.
There is no.
There better not be no follow up.
No.
In the year 1790, Congress declared the city of Washington, D.C., the permanent capital of the United States.
Very nice.
1936, first X-ray photo of arterial circulation in Rochester, New York. Was
really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I did skip over one. I really wanted to mention this one. Actually, 1926, National Geographic Society was able to take their first natural color undersea photos.
Oh, okay.
1926.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And also in 1951, on this day in history, one of my favorite novels, Catcher in the Rye, was published by J.D. Salinger.
That is correct. That was in 1951. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, while we're on it, let's go back to 1935. On this day in 1935, the world's first parking meters were installed.
Oh my goodness! And the next day, the first ticket.
That's right. No, before the day was out.
Same day. Before the day was out.
Before the day was out. I swear I was coming back.
You
wouldn't believe where the
parking ticket must have.
If I gave you 10 cities to guess where the first parking meters were, you'd never guess it.
So it's not New York City.
Not New York.
Not Philadelphia.
Not Philadelphia.
Not Chicago.
Not Chicago.
Not New Orleans.
Not New Orleans. Not Boston.
Sacramento.
Not Sacramento.
Boston.
Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City had the first parking meters.
You know how mad I would be if I had never heard of a parking meter before and it was being used to
Right.
give me a parking ticket?
Well, can you imagine if you were already parked there when they put it in?
Yeah.
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 Where does this thing come from?
Yeah.
I'd be Cool Hand Luke
Yeah.
chopping the top off of that.
Definitely.
Let me see. 1969, Apollo 11 launches, carrying the first men to land on the moon on this day in history. We were just talking a little earlier about the Senate hearings for Todd Blanche.
Yeah.
Let me see. In the year, I'm missing the year right here. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. There we go. 1973, during the Senate Watergate hearings.
Okay.
On this day in history,
I remember
former
those.
White House aide Alexander Butterfield revealed Richard Nixon's Oval Office taping system, the secret
right.
taping system. Those are a lot of the main ones. Ronald Reagan was nominated by the Republicans for U.S. president.
Very nice.
And well, I guess we would mention this on famous deaths in history as well. But John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn Bessette, and his sister-in-law Lauren Bessette, they're killed in a plane crash. Off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. That was the year 1999.
Yep.
That's all the main ones that I have for you today. What else you got, Brian?
So on that same day in 1999, here, how's this for the dichotomy of cinema? Both Eyes Wide Shut and Lake Placid were released. And then on this day in 2012, LMFAO's Party Rock hit #1.
Okay. All right.
Birthdays, what you got?
Not that many today either. I have Ida B. Wells, born in 1862. She's an American journalist, civil rights activist, and co-founder of the NAACP.
Okay.
Born in Mississippi. Also got a guy named Roald Amundsen. A lot of people never heard of him. I hadn't heard of him until this. He's born in 1872. Norwegian polar explorer. Really, the reason I started looking at it is because they had Amundsen.
Yeah.
They had the photo right next to him. Coldest biography photo I've ever seen.
Okay.
And I mean that literally. He was the first expedition to the South Pole.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hardcore photo.
All right. I'm going to keep scrolling and see if I can't find that one. But so those are the only two birthdays you had?
Two more main ones.
Go for it.
Orville Rettenbacher, born
Really?
in 1907. He launched the famous popcorn brand in 1970, bearing his face and name. Will Ferrell, the comedian, was born in 1967.
Yep.
Those are my famous birthdays today.
All right. So add to that list 1911, Ginger Rogers was born. 1943, former Dallas Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson. 1958, the Lord of the Dance, Michael Flatley.
Really?
Yep. Barry Sanders turns 58 today. Corey Feldman turns 55 today. And born on this day in 1928, the first Republican governor in the state of Louisiana since Reconstruction, that would be
David Train.
That's right. It's Dave
Yes.
Train's birthday today.
Dave Train.
Yep.
Wow. I remember Dave.
I saw Michael Flatley, but I didn't know people would know who we were talking about.
Yep.
Riverdance just came to the River Center not that long
sure
ago.
did.
Yep.
I don't think he's still doing it, but
He's not involved.
No.
I was on the load-in for that. I was on the load-in crew.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. And so deaths on this day, of course, you had JFK Jr. and his wife.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Mary Todd Lincoln, 1882.
That's right.
And in 1940, George A. Romero, the director of Night of the Living Dead, was released in 1968. He passed away today.
And I'll add two more to that. Guitarist Johnny Winter died on this day in 2014.
Oh, man.
And in 2021, Biz Markie passed away. Got a national day for us?
I got a national day for you right here. It is, I'm seeing it on July 16th today. National AI Day. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know whose decision that was.
Yeah, that seems very recent.
That's what I'm saying.
I had National Cherry Day.
I saw that one too.
So-
Also National
It's
Corn
a good time
Fritters
for
Day.
National Ice Cream Day, which is Sunday with National Cherry Day, right?
Yes, National Ice Cream Day is this Sunday.
It is
That's
this
right.
Sunday. That's right. It's Sunday.
Man, you know
Time to
what?
get started.
Yeah,
You got to practice.
You know what
right?
we need to? I got to figure out if I could get. No, there's not gonna be time. Dang it.
Oh, you got to make time.
Well,
National
for the
Ice Cream
LSU dairy store, I need.
No,
See,
yeah,
I
that's
gotta.
one of my
I gotta call
favorites.
Matt.
You're gonna get the chocolate. You're gonna get the butter pecan. or
Butter
the vanilla?
pecan.
Butter pecan. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! But that that's always a hard decision, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes Matt Lee will say, "Here, Doc, take both."
I need to call Matt.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm
Call Matt.
overdue to call
Yeah.
him anyway.
Yes.
All right, that was this day in history. We got a break coming up in just a quick second. Do want to remind you before we take that break though about Guarantee Health Solutions. GuaranteeHealth.com is the website. GuaranteeHealth.com. It's an idea that was born out of experience, y'all. The founder of Guarantee Health, Rachel Fricky, was going through a personal tragedy and with a relative, and found the entire experience to be sterile, transactional, even without heart, without bedside manner. And she decided there's got to be a better way to not only service patients, but to grow business through that service. So she's built out a 4-pillar platform that is available at guaranteehealth.com. You can learn a little bit about it there, and then follow up with the good folks from Guarantee Health Solutions to learn exactly how your medical office, whether you're running a primary care, whether you're running urgent care, I don't care if you've got a vet's office or a full-on hospital, they can help you out with this. Are you making sure that your relationships are top-notch with your patients, and you are utilizing those relationships to grow your business? Learn more at guaranteehealth.com. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's next.
So how you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Yeah. Are you surprised how cool it's been in these last 10 days of July?
With all the overcast and rain, yeah.
Yeah. And the rain. Did I say and the rain?
And the rain.
Strain Farms is wet now. Let me tell you.
Oh, I bet.
There's water. I mean, you walk out in the fields and your feet kind of start sinking. So you don't put any equipment out in the fields. So
yeah.
No,
we my grass is growing faster than it can be cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's like by the time you're finished, you're gonna start again.
That's it. Well, I
don't even have a farm.
So so I run the mowers up to at least 3.5 inches, and the bush hogs at 6, and so I can clip the tops, and come back maybe a week later and cut it some more. You don't put it all the way down, it won't cut. You just can't do it. Just
no.
Yeah.
It's times like this I wish I had AstroTurf.
Well, like some people do in Florida, they just green concrete.
Yeah. Well, no, see, concrete is going to emit heat.
Yes.
And is going to run off. You get runoff way too fast. The water runs off way too fast. I would want like a semi-permeable surface, something that the water can fall and soak through.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the water still goes into the ground and doesn't run off.
They make a concrete for that now, a porous concrete for parking lots, so it doesn't run off. Yeah. And the mosquitoes have been monstrous.
Yeah. Our mosquito abatement truck rolls through well after dark, and I hate that because
it should though. Because because one, you've got to get the mosquitoes when they're out, so the droplets.
Hang on, we're coming back in.
Okay.
There's an open for Mike Strain. I'll toss to it. It's called Farm to Studio. I tossed to it.
It's close to the Rocky thing, but
all right.
We're gonna be in so much trouble today.
819 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh man, we're loaded for bear. We got a ton of topics to talk about. It is time for Farm to Studio. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
I will look.
Let's swing this one around.
We swing this around this way. There we go.
Yeah.
We need that alluvial soil. Remember, watermelons, right?
Watermelons.
Now it's oh my gosh, they've been good this year.
Have
right? Oh, what do you mean have they?
Well, because I haven't gotten a bad one yet. But
that's right. You better hurry up and eat some more quick, right?
Oh.
I mean, look, they are very ripe, very cool, very good.
The watermelon, the ice cold watermelon, is the most underrated superstar of the 4th of July.
Really is, and I like to make sure mine's in the refrigerator. At least I like to get it down about 3 days. So it's really, really cold. Right. And so we have a refrigerator out in the shop. So we put it because that one's turned down real low.
Okay.
And get it out there and just at the right time. When you put that knife in there, you want it to, you don't even really have to cut it. It starts splitting as you're pulling the blade because it's super, super ripe, super cold. And how you say? Super delicious.
It is. And it's just holding on to all the juice. Just
my
because
goodness,
I mean, in like 4th of July when the sun's out, and you got to hydrate. Hydration's important.
And you can take watermelon slices and mix them in like with a tea. And it's very refreshing. And watermelon's good for you too, as well.
Is it now?
It's even better. Yes. my grandmother used to make candy out of the rinds. That was a big deal. Watermelon rind candy.
Watermelon rind. I can't say I've ever had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
So
right.
it was really sweet. It was a little bit little chewy, and she would put it in jars. So as kids, farm people, we didn't waste anything,
No.
but it was very good. Of course, when we was kids, after we'd eat the watermelon, we'd go give the rinds to the horses. And
Okay. I just throw the rinds in the compost.
And they would just bite it and chew it.
Yeah.
Right. They loved it too.
Okay.
They really did, because you'd be eating watermelons, they'd be standing with their head over the fence waiting on the rinds.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Pavlovian, just good trained for watermelons. All right. So let me start with this then. How do you find a good one?
Well, it depends. If I'm growing them, I go out in the garden and I look, and you can look. We look at the vines as the vine is starting to narrow, and really you see a little bit of turning from green towards brown, a little bit dark, and then you start thumping them. Right? You don't plug them. You've heard the term plugging the watermelons. That means when they take a knife and they cut out and take a look. Don't ever. No, yeah, I swear.
You don't want to breach the rind at all. No,
you don't want to breach it. Yeah, you talk about getting in trouble.
Yeah,
my dad got mad at my brother and I one time because we'd been out plugging some watermelons.
Yeah.
So, but you thump it and you listen and you hear this sound. That's not what you want. You don't want that dull sound. You want a resonating sound. You think about tapping if something hollow, right? And you can hear and I'm not really a finger thumper. I'm a tapper with use three fingers.
Okay.
And you hear that resonation coming back. You can also kind of look at the bottom of the melon. If the bottom of the melon is still really, really green, it hadn't started, turning more, it hadn't started blanching a little bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see a little yellow spot or something where it's been sitting, but you can tell. I mean, you can tell when you get used to it, but the sound is the most important part. And you can tell, and you can also tell by sound if you do enough of them when they're getting, quote, overripe, and it's time to go ahead and eat that melon.
Now, to go along with that, and yeah, it's the more it's just the more it looks like it's been sitting in the same spot on the downside. Because I'm not growing them here, so I'm not picking them out of the field.
Right.
But if I'm pulling off to a roadside stand,
those guys can help you too, guys and ladies too.
Yeah.
They can help you in those roadside stands. Say, look, I want a good melon. Say, okay, and they'll start thumping. And and you hear them thump. Say, I think this one. Then you can, that's part of the transaction, right? When you pull over on the roadside stand, if they're in the
I always ask,
whatever.
which one were you hoping to take home and eat tonight? And I'm going to that. Nope, that's one. That one's mine now.
Wait. Oh yes, no, that one right there. That's right. That's right. But when they see me coming, they always want to make sure the commissioner gets a really good melon.
Well, yeah.
So when you stop by and check and with them, and
the job has privileges.
Oh,
for
it's
sure.
got privilege. They make sure you got just the perfect melon off the back of the trailer, right?
Absolutely. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in. We call it Farmer Studio. Do it second Thursday of every month. We had a rollover because I think the first of the month was a Thursday, so we got caught with an early month. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes. I could have been out of country, out of state, or
probably you're always somewhere.
Yeah, we're always rolling.
All right. So watermelon, we know how to pick them. We know where to find them. Farmers markets, roadside stands. I'd put those up above.
Yeah.
Look, I love Mathern's, and they got the good Louisiana watermelons at Mathern's on Kenilworth. But I'm going to a roadside stand for this one. I want as close to the ground.
That's part of the fun as well. And visiting, and your farmers markets are really good about that. But you can get good melons, at your local section of your grocery store, and check that out.
No, if you're already there, go ahead and grab one for
absolutely.
sure.
Don't wait. Don't hesitate.
Don't pass up the roadside stand. Is
That's
what I'm
exactly right. Or the old farmer pulled over on the side of the road with a trailer, right? And you can tell if you can kind of tell if they're local, right? Yeah.
And watermelon's not the only thing in season right now, though.
Oh no, everything is good. Of course, from the spring gardens, we're on the kind of that tail end of the Creole tomatoes, and on strain farms, as soon as it dries up, we're going to get ready for the fall garden. We're probably going to plant some more tomatoes as well. But you got your okra, you got your bell peppers, you got squash, you got zucchini, you've got everything now. It's just time to really enjoy that. And I can tell you, if you like fresh shallots, whatever you like, and you go to those farmers markets, and those farmers, they've got this down beyond the science, right? Because what they will do, it used to be traditionally you planted the garden all at once. And now they know they will plant a few rows in a couple of weeks, a few more rows in a couple more weeks. So they always have something at the peak of freshness.
Yeah.
Right. During the entire season.
Rather than blasting through all of it at once. That makes so much sense.
Right. Yes. And so they're very good at that. And now my brother and I, we do a little of that just out of convenience. And that's because, we plant until we get tired. And then the next day we'll plant until we get tired, and that sort of thing. And with the weather. And so, but there's always fresh produce. And the thing about fresh produce, it is so much healthier for you.
Why?
Well, because one, all the nutrition is still there. And the other part, and especially if you grow a garden, just actually being out in that garden is healthy for you. It is good for you. It lowers your blood pressure, makes you feel better. And there's nothing I like better than when getting home, late in the evening from, the office here in Baton Rouge, going out in the garden, picking, some fresh vegetables, coming in and washing them up. Always wash and rinse, and having those for supper, right?
Okay, yeah.
And the sugars are different. The really, really fresh, because they, these vegetables, we don't have to blanch them or anything, because they are straight off the vine, straight off the bush, right? And then straight, how you say, either in the pot or in the steam or raw vegetables, whatever you want. And there's nothing better. Now, my Creole tomatoes, I do like to chill them down a little bit. I like them, put them in the refrigerator just to get them chilled.
Yeah.
But the corn is so sweet and so fresh on the farm. You can eat it out in the field. Your fresh sweet corn. It's that tender, it's that fresh. And of course,
is it corn time already?
We've had that one part of corn time, and it won't be long. We'll be harvesting some more. So you can plant corn a little bit early.
Okay.
And again, but very soon, and because when I was in the legislature, my dear friend Andy Anders, he would bring literally a truckload of corn from his farm in Vidalia, and he would give it, to his friends, the legislators. We all had corn from Andy Anders. Those are the sort of memories that you have, and we had, of course, a lot of good friends there. But there's nothing better than fresh corn. Now, we have some corn that is some from last year's crop. And what we do, we take it right out of the field, and we will blanch it right there on the farm and blanch it, and then start it. We put it in chilled water, and then, bring the temperature down. Then we freeze it and vacuum seal. And I can tell you, it is almost as good as if you just picked it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. I mean, there's no replacing just picked it, but yeah.
Oh no, there's no replacing that. But so whenever we do, look, if we're going to do a crawfish boil, right?
Oh yeah,
we're going to the freezer, and for every major holiday,
yeah. I mean, you're throwing a boil for 30 minutes, then sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, for every major holiday, we still go into the freezer to get. So now we got to fill the freezer back up, So we do that, and so if you come to my house on Thanksgiving, you're going to have corn from Strain Farms. That's going to be on the menu as well as everything else that we have.
Gotta love that. All right, we got about a minute and a half till break. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in with us. We get so much to cover. We were talking about it. I don't know if this was during the break or once we got in, but the weather lately has led
crazy.
To a ton of mosquitoes.
A ton of mosquitoes and a ton
Big
of
ones.
flooding. A lot of flooding through out of Voiles Parish. And of course, and those are areas. It says areas that they call them floodways, right? And it drains water from the northern parishes down through Avoyelles and St. Landry. But the mosquitoes have been really bad, and especially right late in the evening and in the afternoons. And mosquito control does a wonderful job.
Yeah.
But they eliminate 99+% of the mosquitoes. So think about what you still have.
Right.
And can you imagine living in this part of the world without mosquito control?
No, I can't.
No, that's why, the city of New Orleans, prior to mosquito control, there were more people that died from mosquito-related diseases than all other major American cities combined.
Yep.
Think about that,
right?
That's how fierce they are. And so that's why it's so important to have mosquito control.
And today we call that Pontchartrain Boulevard.
Yes.
So, Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in with us. We got a break for news, traffic, and weather. There's a whole lot of items in the news right now that I want to touch on as well. We'll get to all that when we come back. You're listening to Farm to Studio as part of Mornings with Brian Haldane on Talk 107.3. Jen didn't send it over, but I want to ask you about the cyclosporiasis thing. You're not
cyclospore. Yep.
You're not going to get that from local produce, are you? Or does it when
should not.
Stuff's shipped in?
You should not. It's shipped in. There. What I'm trying to understand why they can't pinpoint the source with that many people sick,
right?
And clusters, right? They should be able to narrow the source or source is, and they're really leaning more towards lettuce, you know. But the thing about this, and we'll talk about more on air, the cyclosporus, the cyclospora can have, it says it can reproduce on the plant, but when I look at the research there, how it's done, I mean, this is a human only parasite. It's a human only, and it's
right.
fecal oral, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening now? We know before, when those peppers were from Mexico, right, were made people sick with the salmonella.
Oh yeah.
They were using water, untreated or minimally treated wastewater to irrigate the fields in Mexico. And what happened? And not acres, thousands of acres.
Yeah.
Right? So they've got to get a handle on this, because it is really, it's yeah.
And I also want to ask you about data centers. Actually, Anna Johnson wants me to ask you about data centers.
Yeah, what's happening there? They're in Richland Parish. You saw that, huh?
Well, first of all,
some states are banning.
I met the guy who owned the land.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. He seemed like a really good guy.
Yeah. So let me think who that would have been. There was a group that owned the land.
But they were rice farmers before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
no, but what my question about data centers is the usage of water and a closed loop system.
Well, as long as it's a closed loop system and we don't need 14 million gallons a day.
Right.
Right. Some of the new ones, if you look at what they're talking about with NVIDIA, they're going to use nitrogen or ammonia. They're not going to use water. They're looking at these new technologies, immersing these, quote, data pods in a coolant, right? Super coolant, right? Okay. And so they're looking at a whole different system. So the question is, by the time these data centers are built, are they going to be obsolete? Is that technology? You buy a computer, you buy that. How long before it's obsolete?
Oh, second it's home with me. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So you wonder about this new technology and the way that's working, you know, and then again, what is all that computing technology going to do? I mean, that massive computing technology.
So
who's not telling us what we don't know?
As it stands right now, 15% of businesses utilize AI on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
As that number grows, the computing technology is going to have to grow faster than it. So
I know.
Oh.
And I think it's the cyclosporiosis is underreported.
So do I.
Yeah.
There's probably a ton of people out there with the diarrhea that just aren't going to the doctor for it.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Well, it's like how many people had COVID and never knew.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Yep. At least you have trimethoprim sulfur works pretty well. And for humans, it's 1,960.
Try what?
Trimethoprim sulfur.
Yeah, oh, that's Imodium.
No, Imodium. Imodium AD. Imodium is a product that slows down the gut. Trimethoprim sulfur is an antibiotic. It's trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. Yes.
I'm trying to think of what the generic word for Imodium is, though. There's a
generic for Imodium.
Oh, loperamide.
Yeah.
What the hell was I thinking of then?
You may have been thinking of metronidazole, the white pill that you take, and after about, it's good for that. You use that for amoebic dysentery.
Oh.
Yeah, but that won't do for this. It's a coccidian parasite. And it's in primates.
Louisiana's voice, loud and clear. Griffon, weekday mornings from 9 to noon on Talk 107.3.
836 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Continuing with Ed Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. Before we dive back in, though, let me remind you one more time about David Duvall and his team over at One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the phone number, 400-8005. I'm sorry, OneBathAndClosets.com is the website, 400-8005 is the phone number. And now is about the perfect time to give David and his team a call. Because if you're looking at redoing your closets, if you're looking at redoing the bathroom, look, if you got kids in school, we're about a month away, right? Now's the time to get on his calendar right now so that as routines get back into changing, you'll either be in line to get the revamped bathroom or revamped closet, or you'll already be in the clubhouse at that point. So go to the website, scroll through the galleries, just dream a little bit. See what's possible in your own house with OneBathAndClosets.com. We call it Farm to Studio with Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. We visit roughly once a month with our Ag Commissioner. A couple of items in the news I wanted to talk about, Dr. Strain, if we could, and we dove in during the break. So if you're on Facebook Live, you've already
been teased up.
Yeah, I mean, we're live on Facebook every single day, courtesy of the folks at Lake Urgent Care. Cyclosporiasis.
Yes.
This is the, I mean, not to be gross about it, but this is the exploding diarrhea.
And, you know, it was first identified, the first identification in 1979 in Papua New Guinea, 3 individuals. And then the first real scientific reports started in about 1993.
Okay.
So this is a relatively new disease that we know of now. Has it been around? We don't know. It will take, some research to see if we can find, anecdotally, if we find that it existed before, but it's a coccidian, it's a coccidia. So it is a parasite, an intracellular parasite, but this is confined to humans and some subhuman primates. It's not like you have deer or wildlife that are defecating in fields and that getting into the water that's recycling. This is strictly human. And so, and we've seen, the CDC, if you look at the reports, I think it is very far underreported. If you look at some of the northern states where they've had at least 2,000 cases, and they talk about predominantly, you see this in lettuce,
right?
You see this in raspberries and cilantro. And so what happens, it's that when you have contaminated water that is used for irrigation, and so, when if you're talking about organic fertilization of anything, and if you're using those type of organics, not human, but non-human, you're supposed to put it on the soil and on the plants. It's never, and then you have to wait. You can't do it when you have the fruit present, right? And so if it's going into a spray system, right, if it's being irrigated either by drop irrigation or by spraying, it's somehow it is contaminated and contaminated the actual, quote, what we call the fruit. Now, lettuce is down on the ground, but if you look at raspberries and cilantro, and so, it does take a while for the CDC to identify. It may be multiple sources. We see this now in the summers. And so more than likely, this is produce coming from a foreign country,
right?
Where they don't have we have very, very, very strict rules. If you remember a number of years ago, we thought there was a problem with tomatoes, but actually it wasn't. It was in peppers, and that was from produce that was grown in Mexico, contaminated with salmonella, if you remember that. And it caused, a big problem there. And what happened is that they were actually using water from the sewer plants, right? But it wasn't properly treated.
Right.
It wasn't chlorinated, wasn't properly treated. And they were using that to irrigate these massive fields, so you're talking about 20, 30,000 acres and of that, and it got contaminated. So the key is now, we're telling everyone, look, the risk factors, or if you have pre-bagged lettuce, don't be doing that, right? Pre-bagged lettuce. If you're going to get a head of lettuce, bring it home, wash it.
Oh, yeah.
Wash your hands, peel off the first couple of layers and wash it again. Hot running water is probably the best thing.
Wait, is it weird that they haven't pinned it down to, because I mean, you say lettuce, that could be any, I mean, there's multiple types of lettuce.
There is multiple types, but what happens is that this particular parasite really loves the weather right now, this hot and this humid. And so we have, all these clusters of disease, and we're trying to track it down. And it may not be one source. It could be multiple sources. Or it could, what happened is that if you look at before, it took us a while to figure out that the salmonella was really in peppers and not tomatoes. It was blamed on tomatoes. But what happened is that they had tomatoes that were shipped in boxes that previously had peppers in it. And the tomatoes made, some contact. And so they were able to identify and trace it back.
Right.
And so, yes, I am a little surprised, that the CDC has not been able to isolate this to a common source, but it is very prevalent. So that tells me there may be multiple sources. And the other thing is that wherever this is at, they've really got to get a control on the irrigation water and what's happening. So we really need to hide that now. A local farm that's raising these products is not going to have this problem.
Right. Which brings us back to the last segment of buying your produce
locally. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Now, if you get sick, if you get really sick, you need to contact your doctor, because it normally lasts 3 days. And some people, especially if you're immunocompromised, you've got liver disease, uncontrolled diabetes or whatever, then it can go on much longer and can be, quite devastating. The good news is we do have a very good treatment, and that's trimethoprim sulfur, and it is sensitive to it. And that is a good thing. But just these sulfur drugs, trimethoprim won't work. You have to use trimethoprim sulfur dimethoxine. And it's, it's very prevalent. And so if you look at that, so we have very good treatment regimes for that.
And Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in with us. Let's pivot to another item that's been in the news lately. And I'm not calling on you for tech here. You are the Ag Commissioner. So data centers are continuing to grow. We just had a big announcement about doubling the size of the one up in Richland Parish.
In Richland Parish.
Yep. One of the bigger concerns that farmers have is how much water is going to be taken away from
the aquifer.
From
the aquifer, and that is a big deal. And if you look at the water in all of our aquifers, when you drill down below the fresh water is salt water.
Right.
And so if you start pulling up the fresh water faster than it can recharge, right, then you get a salt water plume. You get a dome coming up. And when you get to that salt water, you can't use it. You can't use it. You have to cut off the spigot. And so, the initial discussion was for 3 to 4 million gallons of water a day. But they are permitted, I think, for 14 or 15 million. And now that we know that they are going to more than double the size. So the question is how much water are they actually going to need? Can they recycle that water? Where's the wastewater going to go? And how is that going to be handled? Because again, water is precious.
Yeah.
Remember what Mark Twain said?
Well,
whiskey is for drinking, water's for fighting, right?
Yeah.
Remember, so water, and of course he was familiar with the Mississippi River. Some of the things we're doing in that part of the world, in East Louisiana, is we're actually taking river water, putting it into canal systems, and then pumping that, in for irrigation. And what happens is that it helps it to get across the Macon Ridge, and that's a big deal, the Macon Ridge, so that then that water can then percolate down. After it's used for irrigation for agriculture, then it goes into the aquifer and helps recharge the aquifer.
Right.
And so there's plenty of water in the Mississippi River, but of course this facility is 25 miles or so. It's a good ways away from the river.
Right.
And so that's a very long pipeline. And so they are looking at groundwater. And I think that is going to be a continuous discussion.
But that's if they're using an open loop. So you're going to use a closed loop system to make it more like your car's radiator.
That's even better.
Yeah.
That's even better. And so the question will be, when it have to be monitored to make sure that closed loop system, that the
you're
water
going to have some
safe.
Evaporation for sure.
Absolutely.
But I mean, and once you have a closed loop system built out, it's probably, I'm guessing on this one, I'm layperson on this completely, but once you've got the closed loop system,
there's a minimum amount of water you have to add to that.
To it. But as technology advances, replacing would become easier.
That's right. And I think listening to some of the new technologies, some of the things, and I've listened to the discussions by the companies such as NVIDIA, where they're talking about supercooling and using either nitrogen or an ammonia system, not a water system, and actually having these units sitting in these supercool system, because apparently these machines think faster when they're colder.
Yes.
Right. Super cooled. And so I think technology is going to move very, very rapidly. But water is a big deal. And you've seen, again, the discussions where Texas wants to take water, from Toledo Bend. And, we're talking about the availability of water, especially when it comes to big industry.
Right.
Industry needs water. The future of agriculture, the future of commerce, the future of industry is where we have the availability of water and energy.
Yeah.
What does Louisiana have? Water
both.
and energy, right? And that puts us, and we have transportation.
Yes.
In other words, we have the mighty Mississippi River, and we have 5 major rail systems here. So that puts us in the pinnacle, and these companies are looking here because, again, water and energy. Energy by natural gas is a big deal because we have a 300-year supply of natural gas.
Right.
But the other key is, if you're looking now at this new data center as it's expanding in Richland, Entergy is going to have to markedly increase their energy production. So they do that. So they were talking about everything from 6 smaller natural gas plants, and then you hear the discussion that's being thrown around, not by Entergy but by others, of the micronuclear facilities that would have a micronuclear facility to run a data center. Now in England, where I've been a number of times, and specifically with Drax and their generation facility in York. In York, they're talking about building a data center next to it, because that one facility produces 10% of the United Kingdom's energy, and it produces it from wood pellets. 80% of those wood pellets come from Louisiana, right? So
I'll take that.
They're about 4 to 5 million metric tons. They would have to go up to 8 or 9 million metric tons of wood pellets, and that's a renewable source from our wood basket to generate power for their data center in York. And so we're pretty excited about that, using natural bioenergy, and so I think we're going to have to figure out the energy part. We're also going to have to figure out the water part, and then, what is the change in the economy? But I will tell everyone, everyone, as you see where, the government now there in Bastrop and other areas, and those are now receiving a lot of tax generation, a lot of tax monies, a lot of monies from the data centers. And of course, we saw that when we hit gas for the first time with horizontal drilling, right?
Yeah.
So put a little in the bank, save it for a rainy day. Don't spend it all at once, right?
Yeah.
Because technology could change very, very rapidly. And that's the one thing in technology, especially computer and data and chip and all those technologies, that changes so very rapidly.
Oh, no, I know, but capacity, like the people using it has not kept up either.
Yeah, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the medical uses of AI, which is beyond almost comprehension, what we're learning and what we're able to do with AI technology in the practice of medicine.
We got to take a quick break. We got Your Money Now coming your way right now on Talk 107.3 FM. Well, coming up in 12 seconds, we'll have Your Money Now. After Your Money Now, we'll take one more check of traffic. On the back end of the traffic, we have one more segment to go. All right, Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain's in the house. We'll talk a little sugarcane field day.
Yes, that's a lot of fun.
And maybe ice cream as well. That's coming up next.
We need to call Dr. Lee. So look, Matt, where you at? We're here talking about LSU ice cream. Do you see any on your table? Do you see any ice cream in here?
No, I don't.
We should have some chocolate, vanilla, and butter pecan, right? And maybe a little strawberry ice cream. They got good strawberry ice cream too.
I see. I'm such a creature of habit. The butter pecan is just.
I understand, but the last 2 times I've been with LSU, first time I had the butter pecan, then I had the chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and so it's good. Now I was talking to Tommy Tucker early this morning.
Oh my word!
WW. Oh yeah, and he's talking about Bluebell has a new
chocolate lava cake.
That's it. That's what he said.
They were supposed to come in on Tuesday.
Now I haven't had any, but I know Tommy has, and he said, "Look, on Sunday, so here's the plan. It's okay. We're gonna get a half a gallon each and a spoon." I said, half a gallon. So, well, that's a good start, right? He said, this stuff is incredible. So I've got to try some, right? So yeah, I've got it. That's on my weekend bucket list, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the guys from Bluebell were supposed to be in here on Tuesday.
Yes.
But we changed it up because Larry Selders' funeral was right next door.
Oh, goodness.
So Flynn said it's a work from home day for everybody who doesn't have to be in.
That's right.
So they were able to use our parking lot.
Yeah,
and the parking lot
Larry
across the
was
street.
such a great guy. Just a wonderful guy.
I really want to go to the funeral, but like I'd only met him like 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
And I'm never like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I belong. You know, it's like I didn't know him well enough to consider.
I understand.
But yeah, the few times I did meet him though, it's just such a wonderful guy.
Yep. He will be missed.
Yeah.
He will be missed.
So the ice cream at the dairy store. I need to bring my boy over there.
And
It's been
Bluebell
forever.
makes a new it's called protein, a protein ice cream.
A protein ice
high
cream? Oh,
protein ice cream. Oh yeah, it's very good.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
for the people on those protein type diets, right?
it's most of the
that's
diets,
pretty
high protein, low carb.
That's right. Pretty smart though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh. I think the data center stuff is much ado about nothing. I think because they're going to keep up with technology. Because
They are.
one of the things, there's a cross section here that everybody keeps overlooking, is all the people that run these big tech companies are all super environmentalists as well.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they go out of their way to, harm Mother Earth by depleting all the water? They're not going to.
No. And I think we're going to get beyond the water usage.
Oh, so
And
do I.
if you listen to the technology, there's some saying that the microchip, that's old science now, old science. And they're talking about now the wafer system, for instance. And so it's an advanced system. And so if you look at, where these things are going, the ability, this thing right here, and this is an old iPhone, has more computer technology than was in the Apollo spacecraft. Right. And so where that is going is, and I think you're going to see greater ability to compute, especially when they start developing these, life-size humanoid robotics with massive capacity and so there's in a limited frame, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's coming. Look, I'm just getting over the Roomba, or Ramba, Zumba, whatever that is, that thing that goes on the floor and does the vacuuming. My wife loves it, right? My cat tolerates it, and Hootie the Basset barks at it, right?
All right, yeah.
Oh yeah, but the cat just it's no big deal now, right? Yes. And it does a good job,
Roomba?
Yeah. They make lawnmowers now they have Roomba lawnmowers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you just
Harmony Mercy has one for the football field.
yeah, and it just cuts the grass, and some of them use lasers. They don't have blades, and oh yeah. And they keep it short, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and they cut, then they go and rest and dock themselves and go out and cut it again. And some of them get pretty good size. Yeah. I saw one and I had blades, but it was on tracks, right? So about half the size of this table. And it just goes out there and cuts your yard, Yeah. I can see that on the farm. I go out there and it'd be buried in a stump hole somewhere. So I still got to use my John Deere with all-wheel drive, right?
There's no replacement.
But on the farm now, on the farm we got drones.
You got
lots of
terrain.
drones.
You get different terrain now. Like
But
you get
there's
something like a football field, and it's easy to do the Roomba.
But on the farm, they've got a lot of tractors that are just drones now.
Yeah.
And they'll follow it. So if you're harvesting, the drone tractor will follow you, or you can go out there. I saw one, some technology that they use it for planting.
Mm-hmm.
Once you grid it out and the rows are perfect and it plants and so there's a lot of technology there.
What are you farming, sir?
Well, now mostly garden and timber. We used to farm cattle, a lot of cattle, right? So we had a large cattle farm, and then of course, hay and that sort of thing to keep with it. So after Ike, we liquidated our cattle holdings, and so if I ever retire, my brother and I probably go back in the cattle business, but on a smaller scale. So we used to farm. We were up to 12,000 acres at one time, so that was enough. So it was a large scale farm. But I miss my cows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What Yes, yes. And so we did
for
beef.
dairy or for
Oh
beef?
no, for beef and breeding. So we would, my dad would like buy herds of cattle, of purebreds, and then we would artificially breed them and get really nice brood stock out of that.
Nice.
Yes.
For more than 115 years, ExxonMobil has helped power Louisiana through great jobs, strong focus on safety, and long-term investment in our communities. As energy needs change, ExxonMobil is applying that experience to new solutions like carbon capture and storage, projects that help support industry, keep jobs here at home, and bring new opportunities to markets across Louisiana. If you want to learn more about what they're doing, bringing their familiar work done in a new way, you can learn about what they're doing at aboutlaccs.com. That is aboutlaccs.com. Our Ag Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain's in the house. We call it Farm to Studio. We do it about once a month.
Sugarcane
field day.
Sugarcane field day.
Coming
that was
up
yesterday.
It was yesterday.
That was yesterday at St. Gabriel. Yes, we had I tell you what, we packed the house. 300 to 400 people there. Yeah. And it's Sugarcane field days as always. And there's multiple field days across the state, but this is the main one at St. Gabriel. And that's where the farmers go. They're out in the field. They're looking at the new varieties, and there's discussions in the field. And then we come in.
Wait. There's new varieties of sugarcane?
Absolutely. There's sugarcane. Most varieties last 10 years or less. And so what happens is that we're constantly working. If you look at the newest variety that's been in effect now just a few years, is that with research, and they took a new variety and then they crossbred it with a variety from about 20 years back. And this particular variety, normally with sugarcane in years 3, 4, and 5, the sugar content drops in the cane. And so this cane, it didn't drop at all.
Interesting.
So that's profit, right? I mean, you're talking about 10, 15% additional dollars in a farmer's pocket by the development of that. And so the way it works is that the sugarcane farmers, right, they voluntarily put up money for research, and then we have federal money as well. We have the preeminent sugarcane research stations in the world. Have the Audubon, which is federal, plus all of the LSU Ag Centers, and they develop new varieties. These new varieties are provided for the farmers. And then what happens is that that is propagated under strict guidelines, and then that's provided to the farmers. And then the farmers take the seed stock, grow that out, right? And that becomes the new variety. So we're always looking at something that is disease resistant. So right now we're fighting a disease called the pasture mealybug. That's a new one. And so now the push will be to develop varieties that are resistant, innately resistant to that parasite. And so disease prevention and production.
Unbelievable stuff, as always. Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain stops in with us about once a month just to talk about what's going on in the world of agriculture and basically how we get fed.
That's right.
And how we feed the rest of the world.
And we do feed the rest of the world. The United States and the rest of the world are dependent on America's farmers. Without America's farmers, a significant portion of the globe would starve.
He's Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you.
We're done for today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Foodie Friday coming your way tomorrow. Miss Stephanie's going to be coming by from Zealand Street. We got Nolan Company stopping by as well. Before we get out of here, though, let me remind you, Moon Griffon comes up next, and you're going to want to stick around because right at the top of the show, Moon's got Speaker Johnson on with him. So,
good.
Yeah, 9:06, Moon and the Speaker.
Moon and the Speaker. Speaker Mike. Brother Mike. Yes. Incredible guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Underrated. Underrated guy. Overworked. Overwhelmed.
At least he's got Steve there with him. Yeah. You know, Steve and I started serving together in the Louisiana legislature.
Oh, did you now?
What now? Yeah, I knew him when we were all very young, right? Nice. So I started serving with Steve around 99 or 2000, right, in Louisiana legislature. Yes.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Because it feels like he's been in D.C. forever. I mean...
So we served together. I served with Steve at least 8 years, and then he went to DC after that.
I mean, it feels like forever, but he replaced Jindal. So
yeah, so that's right. So that would have been
07,
08, 07, 08, something like 07.
It was the 07 election. Jindal was elected governor. So 08 election.
That's right. So we served together 8+ years. Yeah. We're good friends to this day.
Are we off of Facebook already? No. All right. Yeah. Facebook. We're going to bounce. We'll see y'all later.